Welcome back to the Magical Mermaids Tarot channel, my beautiful Ocean Siren members, subscribers, and viewers. What do people, or a person you have in mind, secretly admire about you? So it could be people in general, or someone specific you have in mind. What do these people secretly admire about you? As in, they've not maybe verbalized it, or they secretly think it, and maybe it's below the conscious level. It's not necessarily been verbalized to you, okay? How much they admire this thing in you, okay? So we're gonna find out about this. And this could be a hater of yours. This could be an enemy of yours, that you have in mind. This could be someone who loves you, maybe a close friend, or it could be a group of people at your church, or it could be your friend group, or so anyone you have in mind. Or it can be a general reading covering just what people admire about you in general. It all depends on what you choose. Before we begin this reading, I'd like to take a moment to thank my new members who recently joined and got the membership. Deeply appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to my new members. A1C2E7. Thank you so much. Art for the Underworld. Thanks a lot for getting the membership. The Ocean Siren membership. Cindy NNKC. Thank you as well. Deeply appreciate you. These are my newest members. Thank you. The membership comes with a loyalty badge, access to the members only videos, and also early access to all the videos that I post on this channel. 2 videos a week on Wednesdays and Fridays. And sometimes these videos are ready up to a week early. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Okay, so my name is Diana. I'm a psychic intuitive. And before you are 4 piles to choose from. In answering this question, what do people secretly admire about you? Pile 1 is from the Living Tarot, and the associated object is this blue-white Sodalite. Pile 2 is from the Tazama African Tarot, and the associated object is this Milky white Quartz. Pile 3 is from the Gold Foil Tarot, Round Edition, and the associated object is this Unakite. Pile 4 is from the Deck of the Odd Tarot, and the associated object is this Dalmatian Jasper. Please choose whichever pile you feel most attracted to. If you are still undecided, or would like to choose an additional pile, or just get confirmation, let me go ahead and add the zodiac signs that are associated with each pile. Be right back. Pile 1 is associated with the Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Aquarius zodiac signs. Pile 2 is associated with the Aries, Gemini, and Pisces zodiac signs. Pile 3 is associated with the Capricorn, Taurus, and Libra zodiac signs. Pile 4 is associated with the Leo, Virgo, and Cancer zodiac signs. Please take your time, pause the video if you have to choose the pile that you are most attracted to. Now, based on the zodiac signs, you can choose based on your zodiac sign, or you can choose also based on the zodiac signs of the multiple people that you may be wanting to assign to each pile, as to what it is they secretly admire about you. Sign, just whatever your intuition calls you to, because I do actively encourage the development of my viewers' intuition. Very important. Alright, take your time, make your choice or choices, and I will see you at your reading or readings. Welcome to your reading, pile 1. What do people, or the person you have in mind, secretly admire about you. Let's move your number over to the left. You ended up with the blue-white Sodalite. You ended up with Scorpio. Or perhaps you chose these. Sagittarius. And Aquarius. Okay, so let me do a vibe check for you. See what we find here. See what I can pick up on. So, people feel that you are quite wise, actually. Okay, you're quite wise. You are, especially when it comes to your demeanor, okay? In general or at specific times, you can come across very calm. I'm also getting like a spiritual vibe. Yeah, people have had to respect, acknowledge, and accept and admire that you are quite spiritual, pile one. Very spiritual. People admire how like spiritually inclined you are. You maybe begin to meditation. They also feel that you have some type of psychic ability. You're just spiritually in touch. Please pardon my puppy. Her name's Lulu. I'm also getting like that you may have dealt with depression or some type of psychological, like a mental challenge of some kind, and you successfully overcame it. You maybe spiritually healed yourself, and you're admired for this. Yeah, you may have changed your habit in some type of prominent way, discovered the truth about yourself or life in general. Yeah, you're just viewed as very wise. And yeah, definitely. I'm also getting like, maybe you used to sort of like drag or I don't know, it's almost like you may have had a hard time moving or getting some things going, but you eventually overcame that. Or perhaps someone is admiring the fact that you maybe take your time. That's a possibility. You don't rush. People admire you for your loving nature. Yeah, you're kind. You're kind, pile one. You're soft. You're gentle. You're loving. I feel like people admire you for this. They also admire you as someone who maybe is an emotional healer, or perhaps you emotionally healed yourself. You're caring. You're a great friend. People admire this in you, pile one. Also, I'm getting like you may have overcome some type of health problem, or you're very good at taking care of your health, and you're admired for this as well. There's something about you, I'm getting child of the universe. Child of the universe. You come across like you trust the divine, you trust the universe, you trust the process. Or maybe this is a change you made recently, and you're admired for that. Also getting like innocence vibes. Pile one, like you're innocent. People can see that you are not malicious or trying to hurt others or something like this. Or like if there's been some type of matter, you know, you come across like you didn't have anything to do with causing the problems, or like is there some sort of like drama or some sort of either some sort of like negative occurrence or like some type of drama or fight or something went down. It feels like people are seeing that you didn't do anything to cause problems. Yeah, people just feel like you had nothing to do with causing the problems in that situation. That you have a certain innocence, the way that you move. Yeah, people are aware of your spiritual practices and admire them. Admire your spiritual practices. I'm also getting like if you if you shared with people what you do for your spiritual practice, you're admired for it. You're an inspiration, Pawan, to this person or people in general, as far as the way you live your life when it comes to your spirituality, the way you nurture your health, and just your vibe in general. You just give off this innocent child of the universe, connecting to the divine type of vibe. Okay, I'm definitely getting that. That you have a sense of peace that you sort of radiate out. People can tell that you prefer peace. Okay, you don't want to like bother with people. You avoid violence. Like, you're not about, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're very chill, and you're very classy as well, Pawan. Okay, there's a certain like classy vibe, or maybe like almost like royalty. Like you're posh, and you may be bougie too, Pawan. You carry yourself with an air of sophistication and refinement that people in general admire about you, or this person you have in mind. Okay, you may also have certain luxuries in your life that people have seen or noticed. It could be maybe your jewelry, or your furniture, or the way you dress, or something about you. There's a very posh, bougie, luxury vibe going on that people admire as well. You have a high vibrational thing that you do too. Like, you don't walk around surly. You put out high vibes. You're like, if someone sees you, it's like you prioritized a long time ago. You promised yourself or the universe a long time ago that whenever you see anyone, you're going to smile. You're going to be upbeat. You're going to be optimistic. You're going to be positive. And people admire this about you, or this person does anyway. Okay? They like how you're not always favoring pessimism and, or raining on people's parade. They admire you for this secretly. Okay? You're very mysterious. The way you do things, the way you think, the way you flow. It's very mystical, very magical. That's the vibe I'm getting for you, pal. One, as far as what do they admire about you secretly. They feel that you're very wise. They don't tell you this, but they think you're very wise, the things you say. They also admire about you that you are psychic. Yeah, you might be psychic or have like some type of a psychic ability, or maybe your third eye is open and they're picked up on this. Maybe you said things about them or said things around them. They're like, yep, that's correct. Yep, how could they know? But I feel like they may not go out of their way to point this out to you. They secretly are aware of this in you, that you can psychically understand what's happening. You have a very powerful intuition. They feel that you are connected to the divine, that you are peaceful, and you favor balance. You don't like imbalanced situations, or like a power imbalance where, maybe you avoid bullying people, or you avoid bullies, or you avoid, you like for things to be even keeled also is what I'm getting. Like, or reciprocal. They admire this about you, like harmony, tranquility, and balance. Okay, if you are harmonious and tranquil, you seek the same. Or even if the other person's not being tranquil and balanced, you may avoid it. But your nature is to seek that, and they admire this. They admire also that you seem to know things maybe that they don't know. That you have good judgment of situations too. That's what I'm getting. Wow. This person's got some respect for your internal compass, I think. Just the way you navigate the world without people having to tell you what to do or how to think. I think you're admired for your gut reaction to things, your instincts, your impulse, the way you flow or roll naturally. Okay? You're admired for this. Interesting. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your tarot card, shall we? We have beginnings. This is the Fool card. Makes complete sense. Okay? In a sense, I promise, guys, I pre-shuffle the cards, And I like to be surprised by what I see in the cards. I do the vibe check first, and then I like to see how the cards correlate to what it is I've picked up on. But yes, it's like you're a breath of fresh air, Pal One. This is what they admire about you, is that you're innocent and you seek innocence. Okay, you're I feel like this person, if you're asking about someone in particular, they may have like agendas, or like carry around agendas a lot in the way they talk. They always have an agenda up their sleeve. Or even if they don't, even if they're not like this, they have noticed that you are not like that. Okay, everything's a fresh start with you. Okay, or that you don't have a lot of you're not coming in with an agenda. You're innocent, Part One. You're innocent. You come in. It's like you are like a moment at the beach on the shoreline, staring out at the white clouds and clear ocean view. There's just nothing there. Okay, so you're not malicious. This is what you're admired for, Part One. Also, I think you might value your freedom, Part One. You might value being free. Maybe you like to go on trips, or you are maybe detached from this person, and you value your freedom and being free from this person, and that's why you're admired. That's interesting. Also, you may have began anew when it comes to something. You may have started looking at life in a new way, or started a new job, or started a new experience in life, or relocated, or started a new adventure in life. And you're admired for this. You're admired for your ability to pick up and begin anew, begin afresh. Someone really admires the way you crossed the ocean once. It could be that you traveled, or you went somewhere far away. You crossed an ocean to go study or to go work somewhere else. You left your home behind, and someone really admires this about you. They admire the way you traveled about and set sail. Someone really admires how big of a thinker you are. You think of everything and everyone. You think of how one small thing can impact the whole and have far-reaching consequences. You have big thoughts. Perhaps the Fool card typically has the mountains in the backdrop with the ice caps on top, which represents abstract thinking, mathematics, algebra, quantum mechanics, that kind of thing. Those sort of far off abstract ideas that explain the fundamentals of reality. And I feel like someone thinks you're a bit of a genius, that you're really heady, you're smart, and they really admire this about you. Maybe you're very philosophical or spiritual, and they really, really admire this in you as well. Okay, let's move on to your next tarot card. We're getting competition. Okay. So someone secretly admires how much of a stand-up person you are. I feel like you're not the one to be pushed aside. You're not a pushover, okay? If they told you something one time and they were trying to get you to do it their way, and you were like, well, no, I really believe in this way. They admired it. They admired that you had the gumption, the courage to stand up for yourself and not allow just anyone to push you around. Specifically, if something they were pushing for was going to limit your freedom in some type of way, and you said, no, I don't want you to limit what I can do and what I'm about. You don't get to limit me. You don't get to define me. You're just another person. You're not God, that kind of thing. So if you stood up for yourself around this person, or if you stood up in general, stood up for yourself, stood your ground on certain things, then you are secretly admired for this. You're also secretly admired because you are you're a tough cookie, pal one. You're a tough cookie. Yeah. Though you may have a certain innocence to you, you're not a pushover. So this balance of energies within you is very admirable. Okay. You know, I think there's this thinking like if someone stands up for themselves, or if someone is not allowing themselves to be pushed around, then maybe they're willing to do bad things. But that's not the case with you, pal one. You are a good person. You are an innocent. You wouldn't ever hurt anyone. But if anyone tries to hurt you or tries to hurt yours, they're going to have to, there's going to be a reckoning, you know. They're going to have to reconcile with you. Perhaps you're very protective of your boundaries. You may have defeated this person. If you have a person in mind, you may have defeated them at something. Okay, maybe when it came to some type of competition, some type of conflict you had with this person, they feel that you defeated them. It's possible. Okay, you are a roadblock. They weren't just gonna run roughshod over you, doing whatever the hell they liked. It wasn't gonna be happening like that. Okay, and they secretly admire you for this. Next we have soul searching. This is obviously the Hermit. That's 5 of Wands. This is the Hermit. Introspection, being alone. So, pal one, you are secretly admired because, you know, like I picked up on in the vibe check, you are spiritually in tune with yourself and the universe. You know, you may, I see a backpack on this person's back looking out longingly in the ocean. I kind of got that vibe of travel, wanting to go off and go it alone and do your own thing. Separate yourself from this person, or just the kind of person who can take care of themselves and likes to be by themselves. So you're secretly admired because you enjoy your own time. You enjoy your own company. Okay. You don't need 500 people around you to make you feel good, to make you feel whole. I get the feeling like if you were ever around a big crowd, you would not be pushed over very easily. And you would also be a great guide, a great example for others to follow. And this is why you are secretly admired. You're secretly admired because you come across like you don't need anyone. You know, like you prefer to stay away from people who are trying to conflict with you, trying to butt heads. You're not interested in a competition. Okay, you're not interested in competing with others. You're interested in soul searching. Okay, you're interested in figuring out who you are, where you stand, what's your role in the universe, what does spirit have to say to you, what is your destiny, what is your calling, that kind of thing. So you're secretly admired because you live an authentic life. You're not about trying to prove yourself to others and what others think and trying to, you know, show others how great you are. You're about yourself. Now, if someone tries to step on you or push you aside, you're not you're no shrinking violet. Okay, pal one, you're no shrinking violet. You know, you're ready to stand your ground, but you're not. That's not the end all and be all for you. You're not looking to compete with people. At the end of the day, you're looking for peace and quiet. You're looking to self-reflect. You're looking to find answers within and connect with the universe very deeply. Okay, this could tie in with your spirituality. So this is why you are secretly admired. We have celebration, joy, harmony. This could be the 4 of Wands. So what I'm getting, pal one, is that you have a lot of joy and harmony in your life as a result of your choices. Okay, you seem to exude joy. You seem like a happy person. It's just always fun, happiness, joyfulness around you. It feels like, you know, people get around well around you, get on or get along is what I meant to say. Really well around you. You may be a bit of a party animal. Maybe you like to party, celebrate. You have this celebratory, happy vibe about you. And this is something that they secretly admire about you. They also secretly admire that it's like you're on a journey, and you're on a journey through life. Not it's like you are on a journey through life, and you have been successfully reaching all the different milestones and no problems. You see, you've been getting there, so if you are maybe taking some kind of, this is just an example, right? You're at school. Well, your first semester came through, you passed. On to the next semester. Next semester came through, you passed. Or, it just keeps going like that for you. You hit your milestones. Or also getting, maybe for some of y'all, this could be just life's milestones in general. You came of age. You're a teenager. You got your first job. You graduated. You got married. You got a mate. You have accomplished certain things in your life. You bought a house, or you live by yourself, no more roommates, or I don't know, or maybe you reach some type of financial goal. You bought property. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like this person or people secretly admire that you reach your milestones. These things take work, pile one. Okay, these things take dedication and focus, clarity, and being pure-hearted, pure-minded, and focused on what it is you're trying to do every day in life. It's a build-up effect based on each day you do something towards getting there, and you do, pile one, and you're secretly admired for this. I feel like this person may be comparing you, or people may compare you to others who maybe they didn't reach certain milestones in their life. They're kind of like maybe non-starters, or they never left their parents' house, or and I don't mean that as talking down to anyone who still live with their parents. Some people live with their parents because they're helping their parents out. Some people live with their parents because it's genuinely a lot harder out there these days than it used to be, like back in the day, compared to back in the day. And so, some people are staying at their parents' house because they're busy, working and saving up money so they can eventually do their own thing. Or, maybe that's just the way it suits them. Maybe their parents really want them there. It's not good to judge a book by its cover, but I am saying that there are these general judgments that people tend to make about that. They sort of put you at a certain place where you can be judged. Oh, have they moved out yet? Oh, have they graduated yet? Oh, do they have a car that they own? Oh, have they traveled the world? Have they done this? Have they done that? Have they gotten their degree? Do they have a good job? Are they married? Are they, you name it, okay? We rate each other by these milestones just to kind of see where others are at. And some of us compare ourselves to other people based on these milestones, which is kind of sad and unnecessary, because life is so much more complex and subtle and nuanced than that, okay? But I do feel like this person you have in mind that you're asking about, or people that you've been bumping into, they just have this sort of kind of a basic way of sort of summing it up. How's this other person doing? How are you doing? The way they see it is, have you reached those milestones? Okay, pretty basic, pretty average, run-of-the-mill sort of assessment. And you are secretly admired, okay, by this assessment that a lot of people do, for having reached certain milestones in your life. Okay, you're not floundering. You don't appear to be floundering. You don't appear to be stuck. You appear to be strong, independent, enjoy your own company. You don't need others like that. You successfully attain certain milestones. You also maintain your freedom. I feel like you might be dealing with someone who maybe they judge people by how bound they are to certain unpleasant circumstances, like maybe having a bunch of debt, or being stuck with certain family members that you don't like, simply for the sake of survival, right? So I think you may be getting judged as you're secretly admired because you're not tied down to anyone you don't want to be tied down to, or any situation you don't want to be tied down to, and you explore the world. You're solitary, you're independent, and you successfully reached your milestones, and you're not a pushover. Okay, let's take a look at your next tarot card. We have Revisiting the Past. Childhood memories, joy. This is the Six of Cups. So I feel like someone's been secretly admiring you, or people secretly admire you based on what you've done in the past, who you were, who you were as you were coming up, right? how beautiful you used to be, how amazing you were, good times that were shared with you, all the pleasant memories that you formed with others or with them. You know, they secretly admire how you put down some roots, Pawan. You left a good impression for people in your past. You have memories. You were there, and you bonded with certain people. And you know, maybe there are people who are jealous of this. Maybe there are people who don't have this in their lives. Maybe they didn't grow up with a strong family bonded situation, or maybe someone is secretly admires that you got in good with a certain family or a certain group of people, maybe before they got there, right? And they're like, oh, Pawan was with them when they were doing this back in the day. Wow, Pawan. You know, you're secretly admired for your longevity, Pawan. How long you've been around, the memories you formed, where you came up from, who you hung with, who you grew up with. Okay, you're secretly admired for that. You know, I'm getting like maybe you grew up with a celebrity, or you grew up with someone who became a celebrity, or you grew up with someone that these people admire, or you grew up in a way that people admire. It could be that you had an excellent childhood. You know, people look back at pictures of you, and maybe your parents took you all to different countries, and you grew up in a nice house that had all the stuff a kid could ever want, you know, and maybe they didn't have a childhood like this or something. Someone secretly admires you. If you have children, Pawan, someone secretly admires you for having birth children or become a parent and giving these children good memories, good positive childhood memories, giving them a joyful life. Someone secretly admires you for maybe having created an album for them to look at and to see, look, here's the evidence. You had a great life. Look what you had. I gave that to you, you know? So I don't know, that's coming through. So that's a message for just a few of you, or whoever is a parent, or whoever is an uncle or an auntie. You know, if you spend time with children, someone secretly admires that you spend time with children, or that you did spend time with someone. Maybe there were children you took care of that now grew up, and they've gone off and done their own thing, and someone secretly admires that you were there, that you helped raise these people, you know, that you helped create fond childhood memories with them. Okay, that you had parties with them. There were celebrations in the past that you had with this person, or with these children. Okay, you celebrated birthdays and parties. It could be that someone really secretly admires you because you throw excellent birthday parties too for children, or just you're very celebratory when it comes to celebrating your children. You don't skimp on them. You make it a point to make sure that they are happy. Okay, that they are celebrated. We have free spirit, inspiration, ideas. Yeah, part one, someone you must be really independent or not tied down, or you're in some type of way. You may be the type of person that, like, perhaps the people that you grew up with, you grew up, but then you outgrew them. You outgrew that situation, or you outgrew your hometown, or you outgrew your childhood friends, or you outgrew your siblings, or I don't know what it is, but you took off. You're like, all right, guys. When you got to like maybe 19, 20, 21, just an example, guys, I'm just giving an example story here. I like to spin these stories, but it's based on the energy, okay, that I'm picking up on the cards. It's like you reach 21, 20, 21, 22, 23, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to move to California. And people be like, what? Just like that? You don't know anyone there. What are you talking about? Well, I've heard that they have these types of opportunities there, and I figured I might go to school there and take some classes there and get a job. And I have this organization that I've been helping out with, and they have a branch out there, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, I saved up money. I've got my tickets. I've got a place to stay for about a month until I can get my feet, going under me. There's someone I can talk to for a job. People have been amazed, flabbergasted, astounded at your ability to just take off and, move on with life. Not being afraid. Not being afraid of life, not being afraid of being alone, not being afraid of depending on yourself. Someone's admired you for this. Someone's admired you for having wanderlust, for wanting to just take off and go check out the world, go travel other places, visit other places, go here, go there. Go to another town, go to another state, go to another country. be perfectly willing or interested in going to university in another state, somewhere far away. You know, you have been secretly admired for your ability to pick up and leave behind people you know, to just go do something on your own, go find meaning in life somewhere else. People, you've been secretly admired for this. They may not have told you this, but that's something that people are thinking of you a lot. People also secretly admire the fact that you have come back and visited them. You know, that you didn't just go away and stay away. That you came back, visited your family, came back, visited your childhood home, your childhood friends, and you go over memory lane with them. You're fine with going. You're not. It's not running away like that. Like, oh my gosh, I never want to be back there again. It's not like that. It's just you grew up and you wanted more meaning in your life than just same old, or the small town you grew up in, and you were willing and brave enough to get out there, and you're not held back, you're not hemmed in, you're not enslaved. You know, it could be that you don't owe a bunch of debt, or you are not tied down to certain conventions or expectations. You can go wherever you like, you can be free. You are secretly admired for this. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your oracle cards. We have Cosmic Nudge. Exactly. I'm getting like a Wanderlust vibe. We have a woman looking out the window, staring off wistfully. We have this man looking off in the distance, you know, daydreaming or something. Yeah, so I feel like you got some type of inkling. You followed some type of cosmic nudge. You know, you wanted to, I almost feel like someone who grew up with you, or someone who spent time around you growing up, during your younger years or whatever. Maybe you would always talk about one day you're going to go off and do this, or one day you're going to go off and do that. Or maybe you would talk about your big dreams. They were guiding you towards your destiny. And this was the universe's way of nudging you towards what you wanted. And I feel like someone knew about that you've always been like this, that you always wanted to go out there and make a name for yourself and test your mettle. And you know, the Five of Wands nickname is the quest for gold. Okay, and it's like you always had these big dreams, or you had like a big goal or vibe, something you were going for, and you're secretly admired for dreaming big and wanting something more, wanting to get out there and make something happen for yourself. Okay, someone secretly admired you for the way you would spend time by yourself in your thoughts, searching your soul, searching your thoughts, being meditative, being introspective, doing a self-check, self-reflection, self-analysis, enjoying your alone time. Okay, being by yourself, loving your own energy, loving the simplicity of your energy, connecting with the universe, and that being enough for you. Someone secretly admires this. I feel like this person might be someone who likes to be around a bunch of people. Someone who maybe wonders, man, if people stop being around me, will I fare so well? If I lost, you know, all my friends, or if I were to go off into a faraway place, how would I do? Maybe they doubt that they would do well. Maybe this person needs others. They need to have others. It's a big part of their personality. Different kinds of personalities out there, guys. And someone needs this. Okay, and so they see that you you don't need it as much as they do. You don't. So you are secretly admired for this. Let's take a look at your next oracle card. We have Justice. Yeah, someone secretly admires you for moving towards your calling, your true calling. Okay, and what this self-reflection, this being aware of who you are, this honest time, this me time, where you don't gotta prove anything to anyone, where you don't gotta compete with other people and be fake, so that you can show how good you are. A lot of times when you want to compete with others, you have to be of a fake version of yourself, right? It is in being an individual, honoring that true calling within that you're meant to do. It is in doing that. There's a certain honesty and purity that lies within that you're admired for, Pawan. And it seems like you have gone in this direction, and that's a good thing. I see that, you may have been caught up in a conflict that people were aware of, or that this person you have in mind was aware of. And it looks like you got justice, Part 1. Justice was served. You may have been caught up in a conflict with someone, someone who was trying to prove themselves against you. Perhaps a person of interest that you have in mind was trying to prove themselves against you, which is just childish and stupid. But things worked out okay for you, okay? Because the powers that be, when it comes to energetically, spiritually, people around you, the court of law, legalities, saw that you were in the right, or saw to it that you got what was coming to you, okay? It saw to it that, you admired because, karma came through for you, right? Karma came through for you. Your good karma showed through, and bad karma got the people who were in the wrong. All right? Justice was served. And this is why you are secretly admired, is that, justice is being served when it comes to your situation. People are trying to treat you correctly. And if you've been dealing with conflicts, it was settled admirably. It was settled in a way that was fair. Okay? I'm also getting you're secretly admired because, like we said, you're not a pushover. There was something you had difficulty with. Yeah. Something you had difficulty with that you struggled with. Okay, this may not be a competition with others. It could be an internal struggle. And you brought things into balance within yourself. Okay, so this could be, maybe this was your finances, because I'm dealing with the scales, numbers, weights, measures. You really tried to bring your finances under control and you succeeded. This could be your weight. You really struggled to bring your weight under control and you succeeded. On and on and on like this, there's many examples this could fit. But it looks like you succeeded in bringing balance into your life, and you're admired for this. You're secretly admired for this. Yeah, this could have to do with food. This could have to do with a balance around food. You're admired because you didn't let yourself overeat to the point where you didn't let food win, right? So I do feel like the message is very clear, that for some of you, the reason you were admired is you stepped away from certain sensual pleasures, like gustatory, taste-wise, when it comes to what you put in your mouth, when it comes to having too many things to fill your senses with. Maybe a partying life. Lots of substances, all this. It's like you walked away from that and you've moved into a phase of your life now where you're finding meaning, greater meaning from other things, finding greater meaning in nature, greater meaning in soul searching, meditating, self-reflecting, traveling, instead of just consuming. So you have made that transition, and your heart is longing for being called to other things, and someone is seeing this and is secretly admiring it. Okay, it's like a coming of age story of your spirit, your soul. You're growing up and you're moving on from certain experiences that, hey, it's fine for you to get into foods and substances at a certain point in your life or at various periods, but then you got to walk away, and get satisfaction and meaning from other things. So you're being admired for this, pile one. Next, we have success, gradual success with thoughtful actions, right? So there's a step-by-step, milestone-by-milestone approach that you've been taking. Remember I said earlier that you're on some type of journey and you have been making progress. Perhaps you're climbing up that success ladder at work, or with your career, or you're just making your way through life. Maybe it's school, maybe it's just growing up, maybe it's just, growing up and making your way through, different life's different milestones. You're just making progress in life, Pal One, and you're secretly admired for it. You're making progress in life. And it's like at every milestone you reach, there's been a party, some type of celebration, or it's been announced, people heard about it, your family gathered around you, everyone's like, hooray, Pile 1's made it to this, or Pile 1's made it to that. And it's someone is secretly admires you for this. So this is not something that they're verbalizing or vocalizing a lot, but it is something that they feel towards you. We have tightrope. Pile 1, you're doing something difficult. You're doing something difficult, something hard, something a lot of people would be scared to do. Okay, you may be taking a risk. I got that with the Fool card here, taking a risk and trying something that others would be like, oh my gosh, why reach for so high a goal? Why not do something more moderate? Why not just, maybe go to school, get your little certificate and just get a little job and get a little career and settle down. But with you, Pile 1, it's like you're saying, no, I don't just want that. I want to go beyond certain boundaries. I want to look out into the world. I want to look out far into the horizon. How far can I go? How big can I make this? How big can I make myself? Okay. The example that comes to mind is, hey, maybe you could take dance class and become a dance teacher or something, since you've always been called to dance. But instead, it's like you've always known that you were meant to be a world star, a dancing star on the world stage, and you are doing everything you can to be the best there is. And you felt this way for a long time, since you were a child. It's like you're following your calling. You've always known who you wanted to be and what you wanted to do, and you have never given up on that childhood dream, that soul's longing, and you are secretly admired for this. We have unbothered. Exactly. You're not getting sucked into people's drama, Pile 1. You're not. It's like, I'm getting that here. You can see these two people head to head. You can see these two people behind this woman here head to head as well. And you're not, getting into, for instance, I'm getting like some of y'all may have avoided marriage, or you don't allow yourself to get pulled into the drama in your family. You're just all about yourself. You like being untethered. You like being free. Perhaps you're single and you're not about, being weighed down or having a bunch of commitments or having a bunch of, when I say commitments, I think you're committed to your career. I think you're committed to getting things right in your life. You're committed to figuring out who it is that you are and being free to express the purity of your spirit, your soul. And you're making progress, right? You don't give up. You work towards these milestones. Okay? There's something you're trying to accomplish. And you're not giving up, Pile 1. It's hard. But you're not getting into these traditional commitments. I'm picking up. Perhaps you're not married, okay? Or perhaps you're not going to a traditional school that has you in school for 15 years or whatever. You're carving your own path, your own way. You're kind of stepping away from the traditional, the tried and true, and doing something that is stellar, out of this world, but also very unconventional. And the way you stay focused, the way you stay on this path, is by not letting yourself be drawn into the dramas that are around you. Okay, you don't get into the usual dramas. You may also kind of stick to yourself. You don't have a bunch of friendships. Maybe you're a bit of a loner. That's possible. And because it's like, that the more friends you have, the more connections you have, the more you're likely, people see that you don't get drawn into, the mundane, usual dramas that people get drawn into. If someone's arguing or whatever, it's like you don't want to be part of that issue. If there's a conflict, you're never really at the center of it. Maybe you used to be, but not anymore. Okay, if that's the case, then not anymore. And this is what someone admires about you, is that it's other people now who are doing the arguing, not you. You stay out of the drama. And you're not a pushover, don't get me wrong, okay? But you're not seeking issues. You're not get caught up in dramas with other people. Okay, you keep it moving, you keep it pushing. and you stay locked down and focused on what is important to you, that dream you've had for so long, or that career that you're working on, or your travels, or your adventures, or whatever it is, that solitary pursuit of something that makes you more than what you are, or that makes you more of what you are, right? Depending on how you look at it. And this is why you are secretly admired. Let's take a look at your next oracle card. We have empowered. Exactly. I command my energy with grace and authority, creating the reality I desire. Part 1. You're all about trying to manifest the reality that you want. You're all about that. You're singly focused. You're purely focused. You're not distracted. Maybe you're not part of the dating game and getting all stuck in the dating game or dating pool. You're not wasting or frittering your energy away there. You're viewed as very powerful, Pile 1. Very powerful. You are viewed as being one with nature. You're united to your purpose. You focus on empowering yourself along those lines. You are focused on keeping yourself free to pursue these goals of yours, and to also to just purely radiate good energy for yourself and others. You like your own company. That keeps coming up. You like being by yourself, and it's how you find your power. This is your power comes from this purity with which you command your energy, and because you're unhampered, you don't have a bunch of distractions, whether it be food, whether it be extra relationships you don't need, whether it be entanglements and maybe being stuck with people from the past, or being stuck with being stuck in your hometown or what you grew up in, or childhood best friends and all that. You have grown beyond where you came from, Pawan. You've grown beyond, and you remain empowered because you honor your own true energy. You're not trying to borrow from others to help define who you are. You are powerfully tuned in to the waves of the cosmos that are singing your song, Pawan. Okay? They're singing your song. You're tuned in. You're dialed in. And people really secretly admire this about you, okay? They can tell that you can't be distracted with drama. I feel like someone has tried to bring drama your way, or they've tried to get in your way or confront you, and you've turned your back on the BS. Okay, we have intuition. Yeah, you're honoring that inner calling. Okay, some of you, I feel like you might be very intuitive when it comes. You just know, like, if someone's coming at you and they got an agenda, you can sense it and avoid it. Okay. Also getting that it's like you pick your battles. That's what I'm getting also. You pick your battles, Part 1. You don't fight over every little thing, but when you do decide to dig your heels in, when you do decide to take something on, it's usually for a very good purpose. It's usually because the justice in that situation matters. And I feel that you choose wise counsel, you tune in, and because you're tuned in, you have good intuition about the situation that you're in. You may have chosen a good lawyer in your conflict with someone, or there could be a lawsuit coming up here is what I'm seeing. And, it's just like your intuition is fire, Pal 1. People are really secretly admire how you're like a magician or something. You're like someone, you're like an enchantress or sorcerer or something, because you exude magical powers that people see coming from this sort of solitary, independent strength or vibe that you put out. Okay, that's what I'm seeing for you. This is what they secretly admire about you. Okay, next we have cards. Okay, so you might be one of these people that handles like do sleight of hand or something. That's possible. Yeah, we're seeing 8, ace, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, my bad. Queen, jack. Okay. So you're secretly admired, Pal 1, because you might be good at like playing with cards. You might be a good at playing with cards, good at dealing cards. You might be a good card dealer, or someone who... It's funny, I'm actually big into playing with cards, right? So, but yeah, so you may handle cards or something. Is that possible? You may be good at like dealing. You might be God, what are those different card games? You're good at playing Uno or Crazy 8 or Go Fish or poker. You might be good at poker. You might be a good poker player or good at playing cards or something, and you're secretly admired for this. I'm also getting that you may be a good cook. You may be good at making yummy treats or pies or something, and so you are secretly admired for this. You may also have a really good sense of balance. You might be good at like balancing yourself on things. Like maybe you may be a great dancer, or you may be good at like, you know, being able to maintain your balance. Maybe you're a good rollerblader or a good biker or a good, you know, I don't know what it is. It's like something about me. You can do handstands, and you're secretly admired for that as well. Take it as it resonates, leave the rest for others. I'm getting that you might be a really good lawyer or someone who's into the legal world. You're really good at going head to head, maybe in debate with others, or when it comes to solving a matter or bringing justice to a certain matter. You're very good at this. You're the kind of person that people can come seek counsel from. And so that's something that you are secretly admired for. Yeah, I feel like you might be good at helping resolve conflicts. You might be good at helping people resolve conflicts, and that's something you're secretly admired for. If there's a conflict between people, you're really good at being the one who helps to settle conflicts, or who can help make like balanced decisions to help settle conflicts. Usually you're not at the center of conflicts, or maybe it's just these days you're not. Maybe you found a new peace. You've walked away from conflict, and so you're secretly admired for this. Interesting. Okay. Next, we're getting Camel. Persevere and you will overcome problems. Yeah, there is a journey you're on. I'm telling you, there's something you've been working on for a long time. Oh my gosh. It's like you will not be deterred. You just keep going and going and going and going and climbing up this ladder of success and climbing up. And you keep making each milestone. It's like slow and steady wins the race. It's like your success is inevitable and something you've decided to commit yourself to, Pawan. And you are secretly admired for this. Your tenacity, your perseverance, your ability to stay focused. Okay. Interesting. Next we have Thor. Oh my gosh. Protection, strength, directness. Part 1, you are secretly admired for your power, your grace. You may have athletic prowess. Perhaps you work out. You're physically strong. You're very powerful in the spiritual realms as well. I'm seeing this sort of energetic, like sigil behind this person's head. And we're seeing kind of like this aura, right? And this almost like a halo behind this person's head, just radiating out all the colors of the rainbow. Then we got another powerful sigil here that is being constructed by the lightning behind Thor's head. So, part 1, you're very powerful at something. You're very powerful, okay? You're very powerful at your job. You're very powerful when it comes to physical movements, possibly. You're very powerful when it comes to taking flight and leaving, going places, doing things on your own, striking out, having a dream, having a vision, and dreaming and taking those first steps into making it happen, okay? You're willing to take a risk, step on that tightrope, take a chance, take that risk. Who knows what will come tomorrow, but what matters is that you are pursuing that dream that was so important to you. And you're doing whatever it takes to get out there. You're willing to walk that tightrope to get to your destination. You are powerful in this regard. Pile 1. Okay? And you're secretly admired for it. You're almost viewed as having some type of secret magical power. The ability to make things happen for yourself beyond what most people might view as reasonable. They might think, like the average person would be, for example, the average person would be like, ooh, that's too much. What if I fail? What if I fall? Oh my gosh, that thing I really want to do, it's risky. If I fall, I could break a leg. I don't know if I want to learn that. Fear does not hold you back, Pawan. Fear is not going to be your problem. Okay? You're bold. You're a risk taker. You get out there, and this is why you are secretly admired. You go to bat for your dreams, for your calling. You're not intimidated. You're not afraid. And you will do whatever it takes. You will persevere. You will stand on that high wire. You will, turn your back on sensual interests, whatever it is, and move forward into your future. Okay, what gives your life meaning? Next, we have gift. You may be a really good gift giver, Pile 1, and you're secretly admired for this. You also may have, resources and, opportunities in hand that you're working on. You may have been recognized for something that you do and been gifted like an award or gifted some money or something like this. And this is why you're secretly admired. Perhaps you do charity work, or you've given of yourself to other people. You supported others. Also, I'm getting for some of you, you are made an offer. You are made an offer based on how amazing you are at something. And this is why you are secretly admired. You have been approved of. You've been promoted. Okay, if you've been promoted at your job or at whatever it is that you're doing, you've climbed up the ladder like we got, and you're secretly admired for that as well. If you have had some type of windfall, maybe you went to bat, you had some sort of lawsuit, and you've had a windfall from that lawsuit, you're secretly admired for that as well. Perhaps you won the lottery, it's possible. Okay, you're admired for that as well. I feel like if your career, you've been getting promoted and moving up, you're secretly admired for that. The way you avoid drama, the way you mind your business, keep your head down, focus on your dreams, your goals, you're admired for that. The way you enjoy your alone time, your me time, and you enjoy your own company, you're content in it, you're secretly admired for that. And that's what I'm seeing in the cards for you, Pile 1, as far as what are you secretly admired for. If you've enjoyed this reading, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you value the work I do here and you would like to support me, one thing you can do is subscribe. Another way you can support me is to hit that hype button, okay? If you want to take it even further, and you would like to get more out of this channel, then you can get a membership and join, and this will give you access to the members only videos, library that I'm building, as well as early access to the videos that I post here on Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay, there are times some of these videos are already up to a week early. You can watch it early, and that would be very helpful to this channel as well. Thank you so much for bringing your energy to the spread. Take good care of yourself, and I'll catch up with you at the next one. Bye! Welcome to your reading, Pile 2. So what do people, or the person you have in mind, secretly admire about you? Okay, we're going to get some tea on this today and understand what is happening. You ended up with this milky white quartz, Pile 2. You ended up with Aries, Gemini, and Pisces. Okay, let me go ahead and do a vibe check on you. So, Pile 2, people admire your goodness, how good you are. Okay, there's a light vibe about you as well. I'm not getting that you have a light vibe, despite whatever your environment might be. I have a feeling that you may have had to deal with some challenges or have some type of difficulty in your environment or in your history that you dealt with successfully by making sure that your true self shines forth regardless. Okay, you've been very orderly about this. You've been very systematic about it, and you have insisted on the purity of yourself, the goodness in you, expressing it towards yourself and others, regardless of whatever challenging or dark circumstances you may have been in. maybe in the past or currently, and you are secretly admired for this. You are secretly admired for the peace within you, pile 2, your innocence, your ability to heal yourself and others as well. I'm getting that you are protected. You are admired, pile 2, for how you have protected yourself. You have protected yourself with light too, spirit. You may have certain practices where you cleanse your energy and protect yourself with light. You bathe yourself in light, and you keep evil from overtaking your energy. You're successful at this, okay? You may have gone through a phase where it was like a blackout, but you always came back out of it. You found your way out of it by consistently emitting the light within you. Okay, so this could apply in different ways for whoever's watching. It could be, for example, you could be in a scenario where maybe you had a dark night of the soul in the past, or you had to deal with some difficult circumstances, maybe caring for loved ones, or dealing with a time where a time of adversity, maybe when you were struggling financially or whatever it is. But during those times, you kept on smiling. During those times, you kept on helping others. During those times, you kept on looking out for yourself, taking good care of yourself. Maybe even helping others, helping to heal others. You're also consistent, pile 2. You have a certain consistency to you. You know, when you find something that works for yourself, you keep on doing it. You keep on applying it. And this is something that you are secretly admired for. Okay, let's take a look at your first tarot card. The Hermit. Oh my gosh. You got that with pile 1 as well. So pile 2, you are a guide. You're a guide. I'm getting that song, This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. You are the type that even when you are surrounded by darkness, you are shining your light. You crack jokes, you maintain a smile, you are the one who cheers people up. You let your light be singing. You don't allow dark times to cover your light. You let your light shine. You understand that the purpose of your light is to shine in good times and bad. So you are cut above the rest in this regard, pile 2. This is how you're secretly admired. You might be senior at something too. There's something you are very advanced in it could be your career or something you do. Perhaps you're a guide for others. You may be a teacher. I'm also getting that, and this is something that you're secretly admired for. I'm also getting, pile 2, that the person you have in mind, or people in general, view you as someone who likes to take time to be by themselves. Someone who enjoys their own company. Someone who is soul searching. Someone who is looking for the wisdom within. Okay? And, you may study. You're a guide. You show the way for others, pile 2. Yeah, you're very, you're adept at something. You may be senior or very advanced in some like career path, or maybe in some hobby of yours, or something, a vocation, something you really devoted yourself to, studied. You may be self-studied, self-taught, but you really know, like you might be a makeup expert, or you might be a fashion design expert, or you might be someone who knows how to handle plants or herbs, or knows how to grow things and has learned a lot. You know a lot. You're like a walking encyclopedia. These are the reasons you are secretly admired, pile 2. Okay? Let's take a look at your next tarot card. Next, we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, you may have had some kind of advanced education. And if not, then you might be very well self-taught. That's something I'm hearing as well. Man, you are about your rest. You're about being calm, pal, too. You're about stepping away from the daily hustle and bustle and loudness and noise and all that. And, things that are going on out there, like stress, drama, blah, blah, blah. And you go take that time to yourself to rest and recover. Okay? And you're secretly admired for this. You're also secretly admired because maybe you help people. You're a guide who helps people heal from trauma, helps people heal from heartbreak. You're really big, like, into meditation or sanctuary. Perhaps you're a sanctuary for yourself and others. People come to you when they need peace. You are peaceful. You provide sort of like a haven. People have to seek you out, and you provide a haven for others to come rest their souls, rest their spirit, rest their minds. You might own like a spa or have a practice or retreat that you host or something where people come to you and they just let it all go and let themselves deeply rest around you. You're a guide for this. Perhaps you're a guide for helping people recover from things that hurt. You might be a medical professional that helps with healing in maybe, or just a professional who helps with healing in multiple ways: psychological, biological, spiritual. Okay, let's move on to your next tarot card. We have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, I'm getting avoidant energy. I'm out of it energy. I'm avoiding this energy. I'm retreating. I am avoiding. I am being alone. Okay? You're secretly admired because you avoid stress. Pile 2. You're secretly admired because you are picky about what situations and scenarios you allow yourself to get involved in. Okay? You sneak away from like any kind of stress or drama, or people who are not on your level, people who are down there like with sort of lower vibrational energies, or like the masses or something. You avoid that. And someone might want to say, oh, this is so selfish of you, pal, too. You ought to come down and help the people who know less. Why avoid, the world and all that? But you're smart, pal, too. You know that you might get dragged in, that you might lose more than you intend to lose if you allow yourself to be sort of sullied by these energies. And this is why you are secretly admired. It's like you play things smart. You play things smart, pile 2. Okay? Next, we have the Hanged Man. Wow, I'm just getting a lot of like down, chill, detached. Here I hang, here I be. I don't get involved. I don't, like, wow. Pile 2. You are secretly admired because it's like you are an expert at avoiding negativity. You're an expert at avoiding people who want to cause you stress and harm. You're an expert at avoiding bad things. I'm also seeing that you're very detached. It could be like, people that are like to fight or cause trouble, or people that are loud, or the criminal element, or it could be like people that like to take certain substances, or whatever. Like, you don't hang out with these people, or if you hang out with them, you avoid it. If they say, oh, you want to come do this with us, you're like, no, I'm good. Or you might hang out, right? Because I'm getting out with a hanged man. You might hang out, but you're not going to be participating in whatever low vibrational things are being passed around in the circle. You're not going to take part in that. Okay? So you're secretly admired for how you keep yourself pure. The Hermit, this is Virgo. This is like, it's purity, right? You filter out the nonsense, and you detach yourself away from, you're detached from what everybody else thinks is cool. If everybody is vaping, you're not vaping. If everyone's bungee jumping, you're not bungee jumping. If everyone, like, whatever's trending, I wouldn't necessarily say that you go with trends, pal, too. You don't go with trends. You are yourself. You keep it pure. Okay? You and I kind of picked up on that in the vibe check, is that you are good and you are pure as well. Okay? You make sure that you consistently shine the true light of who you are, and you're not pulled in by all the, anything out there that's trying to sort of consume everyone else. You're the one that gets away. If there's some kind of trend where people are like, I don't know, swallowing some weird hair product or something like that. I know that sounds horrible, but you're going to be the one of the people who doesn't do it, right? You don't get, you're not a peer pressure kind of person, pal, too, and you're secretly admired because of this. Okay. All right, let's take a look at your next. We have the Queen of Pentacles. You focus on making that money. You focus on making your environment very comfortable, posh, elegant. You focus on, being resourceful, on cultivating your abundance in your life. You focus on being generous with others. That's what you focus on. You avoid all the shenanigans, and then you focus on making an excellent world for yourself and others. I'm getting creature comfort. So you may be the type of person who is into cultivating spaces that are luxurious and comfortable and nurturing for others. Okay, kind of going back to that spa theme I was picking up earlier, that you might own or run a spa. Maybe you're a massage therapist. I don't know what it is. There's something about your energy is very soothing, very comforting. It's like you avoid whatever's raucous, and you give yourself that which is posh, elegant, comfortable, nurturing. You give that to yourself, and you give that to others, right? You give that to others. And you're secretly admired for this. You may have a successful business where you avoid street ghetto stuff, and you avoid the riffraff, and you avoid distractions that don't serve you. Okay, whether it's party drugs or hanging out with the wrong people or certain settings or certain places. You don't go to certain places. You simply just keep yourself detached and pure and focus on your business. Okay. We have the King of Swords. You follow the rules. You create. You may create some rules, actually, but you're in a position of authority, and you're all about the truth, Patu. You don't get swayed by if everyone's like, "Hey, everyone's doing this really cool thing." You're like, "Yeah, okay, no, thank you." And they say, well, "Why aren't you trying it?" Well, because X plus Y equals Z, that never changes, no matter if this is in trending or if this is, if whatever this is trending or popular. I know, for instance, let's just go with vaping. If you know that, everyone's really into vaping, they got all the different flavors, blah, 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 but you know that it's bad for your lungs, you're just not going to do it, or if people are like, yeah, there's this really cool snack everyone's making this summer. What's the recipe? Oh, you put in 8 things of sugar, 8 spoons of sugar, and all these things. And after they told you it, you're like, well, I'm not gonna be making that. They're like, what? It's trending. Everybody's making it. It's so delicious. You ought to try it. And you'll be like, well, I know that amount of sugar is not good for you, so I'm not gonna do it. Whatever it is you get into has to follow certain principles, Paltu. Okay, certain high-minded and very pure principles for you to be living according to that, and you are secretly admired for this. You're a stickler, Paltu. You're a stickler for the truth. You're a stickler for rules. You're a stickler for what is good for your well-being and the well-being of others. You don't play with it, Paltu. You don't play with, oh, well, this is fun, we'll just do this bad thing here. You don't do it. You're pure as the driven snow, Paltu. And this is why you are secretly admired. Wow, bravo, Paltu. Good for you. We have playing the field. This is certainly not my pile. We have playing the field. Non-committal, keeping options open, desire for fun and variety, freedom, and exploring choices. Pile 2. Pile 2, people have noticed that they can't lock you down into any bad habits or into any scenes or scenarios or places or situations. You avoid being like deeply entrenched in certain places that people want to get you to be part of. You kind of keep your distance, and you do multiple things and not just that thing. You might come in for a bit and hang out for a bit and do that thing, and then but just for a little while, right? And then you will get out of it and go, next thing they know, they'll be hearing how you're doing this other thing and going to these other places and hanging out with these other people and doing all these other things. So people secretly admire how you're picky about where you put your energy, that you obviously opt for variety. Okay, like you don't have like a friend group that's only the place you go ever. It's just that friend group and that's it. No, you may go to that friend group, like everybody else is going to that friend group once a week, but you might go once a month, steadily, consistently, and then have other things and other places that you go. So you have a varied experience, and you're doing different things. You have a varied life. You're not set into one thing doggedly and all this, and so you're secretly admired for that. Next, we have beauty pageant. You're very attractive, pile 2. You're attractive. You may be really good at putting on your makeup or something. And I kind of said the makeup expert, something like that. I think I mentioned that earlier. But you might be really good at putting on your makeup or grooming yourself, making yourself look very good. Like you know how to get dressed or styled for the evening or for a day. You're secretly admired for your looks. You're secretly admired for the way you get your beauty rest. You get your beauty sleep. Okay, you may do naps. You just look young because you are well rested. Pile 2. Well rested. You don't let yourself... I would say you might burn the midnight oil, but you also make sure you get your good sleep. Okay? You may sleep into the morning, like late into the day. That's possible. Okay? But if it doesn't resonate, let the rest have it. And because you maintain this balance, you sleep in, you stay up late to get some things done, but you also sleep in. This is why you're glowing. This is why you're beautiful. This is why you look gorgeous. Okay? Handsome. You may have a modeling career or something. That's possible for a few of you. You may do fashion. You may be big in the world of fashion or makeup, and you're admired for this. You may compete also. You may be take part in competitions or contests, and you tend to win a lot too. That's something you're secretly admired for. You may be very athletic. That's possible. You may play sports, and you're admired for your skill in the sports arena, or maybe it's just the fact that you play sports at all. It's not even about how good you are at it. It's just the fact that you get in there, you play sports, and you are admired, secretly admired for this. We're getting Asia, and this looks like the Great Wall of China to me. So I feel like you may have pretty strong boundaries, pal 2. Yeah, you may have pretty strong boundaries, and you don't allow people to play in your energy like that. Okay, you are very guarding of your space. You don't allow a bunch of people to come hang out with you, always in your space, always in your face. You go in, you go out. Okay? And you're secretly admired for the way you have put up these strong boundaries. You're also secretly admired for your ability to stick with long-term projects. There's something that you do, and people are kind of surprised when they see you, for instance, and they say, "Oh, what you been up to?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm okay. I've done this. I've done that." Right? I mean, you're not going to use too many words, but people are usually shocked when you just drop what you did here, what you did there, and it's something like monumental. They're like, "What? You did what?" Like, "Oh, what'd you do with your time this past month?" "Oh, I went trekking across Europe or something." I'm like, "What? When did that happen?" "Oh, just last month." "Okay, and you're back? Okay, wow. You didn't tell anybody? You didn't, like you're not about being loud about your plans. And then when you go in there, you handle it like a pro. You handle it like a champ. And so people secretly admire you for this. We have 49, home. Appreciate comfort and sense of belonging. Exactly. You create creature comforts for yourself and others. People secretly admire that you stay at home, pal too. You may like to stay at home, keep to yourself, and you don't get drawn into stuff going on out there too much. People secretly admire this, that you are kind of that you are fine with your home, your house, where you live. You that's where you be at, pal too, and you're secretly admired for this. That's very interesting, isn't it? I think you may have children at home. If you do, you're secretly admired for how you keep them safe at home. They're not out roaming the streets and constantly out there doing all kinds of stuff that puts them at risk. You create a sense of comfort for them, and you give them a sense of belonging at home, and you keep your precious things or people safe with you at home. So you are secretly admired for this. Next we have say no. Yeah, you do say no to invites to things, I think. Yeah. People are like, dang, Pal 2 just kind of, Pal 2 just stays at their home. They don't want to do anything with us. They're not always the first one out there doing stuff with us. They have something they like doing by themselves. They enjoy their own company. They've created a beautiful environment for themselves. I'm getting again, your home where you live might be very majestic or beautiful, and so you love spending time there. And so people will secretly admire this about you, that you like your own company, that you enjoy nature, you stay by yourself, you're not you avoid petty social things. Like, when I say petty, I mean like if you're going to go show, you're not about doing like a fashion contest, Paul 2. You're not about like showing up to show how nice you are and say, what does Linda have on today? And I wonder what Linda will have on today, and I wonder what Paul will be wearing, and I bet you I'm gonna shine them all. They're gonna be blown away by my outfit. Like, people love that you don't get caught up in these like pissing contests, like social pissing contests or social competitions and stuff like that. They love this about you. They admire it. They're like, wow, Pal 2 is really not interested in coming out here and trying to prove anything. They know that you stay at home, or that you mind your business in your home. Maybe you work from home, or you run a business from a certain office somewhere or something, and you're all about your career, and you're all about making your home a very nice place or a very nice space. You are you're very logical too, very disciplined, and people really admire this about you secretly. It says you're booked busy. You live by your calendar. Okay, you're not. I wouldn't say you're spontaneous, Paul 2. You just up and go. I just feel like doing this today. Goodbye. I'm gonna go here. No, you're like, well, let me check on my calendar, and let me get back with you on that. If you're invited to something, okay, your calendar is planned out. You're not a free for all. You're not an open book, and you stay busy and the reason you stay busy is because people trust your logic. People trust your intellect. People trust your discipline and your ability to be fair, handle things fairly, okay? And that is why you are booked busy. People secretly admire this in you. People also secretly admire that you are, you may be in a profession where you just have to use your logic a lot. It's a very unemotional line of work. Perhaps you are a surgeon, or perhaps you are a judge, or perhaps you're an accountant. Okay? People really admire this about you when it comes to your career. Perhaps you're a mathematician, or someone who works with computers. Philosopher, writer, I don't know. But you use your head a lot, and people really admire this about you, at least secretly. So you're secretly admired because it feels like, if you have a business, Pal 2, you are booked solid all the time. Or if you have a career, you're always busy with it. You're in demand. You're very productive. Your schedule's full. You just always have something going on. You're not available for trivial pursuits, Pal 2. You're not available to just go, I don't know, shoot the shit, or like just wasting time somewhere, acting silly, doing weird stuff. Like, you are on point. You have a gold coin in hand. There's some business or something of value that you're cultivating, and you are a stickler for your discipline when it comes to that thing. Okay, Pal 2? And this is why you are secretly admired, is that you are in demand and you are disciplined and ready to meet that demand. Okay? You're not a sloucher. You're not a slacker. Okay, this is part of why you're so avoidant and you withhold yourself from certain things, is because you have something precious that you are guarding. There's something precious that you are cultivating. It means the world to you. So you cannot afford to be over-invested in like social things or whatever. You may also be... Okay, well, let's leave it at that. Let's move on to your next oracle card. We have Vitality. Wow. You know, it's funny. I was about to say athletic, in good shape. Now, if you're not, don't worry about it. You know, maybe it's not that for you. It could be that you're just very active. But I'm getting there for some of you, you are active specifically also in the physical way. You may go to the gym, work out your arms. You're built, you look good, your muscles are toned. You may have a very athletic and toned body, pile 2. And I'm not talking about skinny. I'm talking about just you look like you're in good shape, like you're physically strong, and that you are full of energy. How else are you able to keep up with the schedule, right? And so you're secretly admired for this vitality that you exude, this sense of physical power that you got going on. There's a vibrancy to your life force, if you will. This is part of why you're able to just do all these different things, and you know, you don't overly commit yourself to one thing. You're kind of, you know, touch and go, but you're consistent at the same time. So people secretly admire this about you. Next we have gentleness. You're gentle. I picked up on that too. Pile 2. You are gentle, right? That's what we're seeing here. You're also very, I don't know, there's something you're very advanced in. Something you're very advanced in. People don't fully, I get the feeling some people don't fully understand. Some people don't fully understand what it is that you do or what you're very advanced in specifically. But you just come across like a winner, pile 2. You come across like a winner. Let's keep moving here. See more information coming through. Earthquake. Okay. So pile 2, people secretly admire you because, you know, I'm getting a couple of buildings here, building structures. Could be your home. Perhaps you built a very beautiful home and you have, you know, you may have a beautiful home. Okay, that's out the gate. So people secretly admire this about you, or you live in a beautiful area. Now, I'm also getting another symbolic message here that you may have undergone some type of shakeup or gone through some type of like some kind of like a downfall, or might have been some type of upheaval in your area or your part of the world. We're getting earthquake, we're getting Asia. You know, there may be some type of upheaval, but still somehow you lucked out and your things are still okay, in good condition. You survived. You're still whole and hearty. You avoided whatever this upheaval was. You successfully avoided it, or you set yourself up in a situation that wasn't as likely to be destroyed by whatever this is. So you're standing on solid ground and you built a very powerful situation for yourself in life. This could be symbolic. And you're just not subject to something comes along, boom, you're lost, you're done, you're out. Okay? Because you built up certain fortifications that keep you safe. You avoid areas that are quote unquote bad, or you avoid areas where there has been a known history of upheavals, whether it's crime, whether it's Mother Nature getting angry, or whatever it is. You avoid these areas. You live in safe part of the world, or you live in a very sturdy home, or you've chosen certain sturdy lands to live on that are not subject to some of these natural or man-made disasters. And you're secretly admired because of this. Perhaps you avoided some type of big disaster that impacted everyone, but you were safe, and so you're admired for this. Okay, we have purse. Thank God, right? We have purse. Pay attention to your finances. Pile 2, you are secretly admired because you are not wasteful. You're not. You know, you withhold. When it seems like you're doing very well, right? But because especially with the appearance of the Queen of Pentacles, but it's not everything that you buy. It's not, you're not like, you know, you're not trying to show off how much you have. You're being at peace. You're avoiding stress. You're, you know, yeah, you avoid certain risks. You avoid taking certain risks. You go with what's safe. If you stay inside, for instance, this cuts down your risk of accidents, car accidents, being robbed or whatever. I don't know. You know, if you put yourself out there, something is more likely to happen than if you stay indoors. I'm not saying nothing will happen if you stay indoors, but it's just a lower risk of something going wrong. So someone secretly admires that you play it safe. You keep things to your chest. You keep your money to your chest. You don't overspend. You stay inside, and what you do inside helps you make more money. Okay, keeps you busy and productive, so you can even make more money and be of use to others. All right, be of service to others. We have Freya, love, lust, magic, and matriarch. Pile 2, I'm getting yet again that you are very beautiful. You're very attractive. You're gorgeous. You dress well. I'm getting 2 tiaras here. Okay, and another crown. And another crown. So Pile 2, I feel like you are the king or queen of something. Okay, you reign supreme at something, and you're admired for this. Okay, you may have won contests, including some maybe beauty contests or beauty pageants, or you may have won contests or competitions based on your looks. So it's not like you're being avoidant and liking your own energy and being by yourself and avoiding certain social pursuits because maybe you don't look good or you're insecure or something like that. It's not about that. When you show up, you glow up, okay? And you have it like that. And people are always blown away by your attractiveness, your looks. You're very well put together, your sense of fashion when you do show up, when you do dress up. And people are like, man, Pile 2 is something. Pile 2 is gorgeous. Pile 2 isn't always showing off, isn't always out here, always putting it out there like that. When Pile 2 shows up, they are gorgeous. They are glam. They are, you know, you're all cylinders, Pile 2. Okay, you're gorgeous. Okay, you're gorgeous. You take it to the max. You take it to the max. And yeah, that's what I'm getting. Sorry, that's my puppy, Lulu. She is hanging out with us today for our reading. I hope you don't mind. Please make space for her. She loves to hang out with me, and so I am keeping her with me. She's kind of like my emotional support animal. I'm sure you understand. Thank you for understanding. Okay, so yes, you're very beautiful, and you incite, like, man, you incite lust in others. Like, but I get the feeling that when you are by yourself and you're chilling, you're relaxed, you're not dressing up to the nines and stuff by yourself. You like to dress very comfortably and put your hair up, and you don't fuss a lot about your looks typically. Okay. You're not vain. You're not vain, Pile 2. You're not. And this is something people secretly admire about you. Even though you have the looks of a beauty queen or a goddess or a god or a male model or something, you're not all about that. You're very handsome. You're very beautiful. But your thing is health. Eating well. Staying physically active. Avoiding stress, avoiding drama, avoiding overeating, and focusing on just healthy sources of protein or something like that. And you love your own company. You're not all about constantly being out there showing off. You're at home or at work, focused on your calendar and your responsibilities. And that's that. We have courtship, number 4. So Pile 2. What I'm getting is that someone secretly admires your relationship. If you're in a relationship, someone secretly admires it. They think you have a good relationship, or that you have a good dating style. You know, if you're single, you know, someone secretly admires that, you know, the kind of people you pick to date, or the kind of boyfriend or girlfriend you have, or, you know, how picky you are. And someone who also wants to date you secretly admires that you're so busy. You're not always available for hanging out, going out, doing this. Like, you're not wide open like that. Okay, you are a valuable individual, very productive. You're you serve people, you serve life, you're a very useful person, and someone who's dating you secretly admires you for this and is very into you and really cherishes whatever time that they get to have with you as very special, because they know that you're not, that you're out there being useful. You're not just sitting around either twiddling your thumbs or doing something that's not as meaningful. You're a very impactful person, and you're secretly admired for your choices when it comes to your career, the way you carry yourself, the way you comport yourself, the choices you make, the way you look, your appearance, your health. You're secretly admired for the way you seem to keep yourself from going bankrupt, or keep yourself safe too. You keep yourself very safe. You're not a huge risk taker, pal too. You're not. Okay? You work steadily for what you have. You avoid certain, unnecessary risks, and you built something very meaningfully for yourself and others, and you keep yourself safe, you keep yourself beautiful, you keep yourself healthy, and you stay busy. Okay, you also get good rest, so it's not like all work and no play type of situation. Okay, you get plenty of rest, and it's very evident when you show up, you're glowing, Patu. People can tell that you're not working yourself into the dirt, but you stay productive, and you're a useful person, and you are secretly admired for this. And that's what I'm seeing in the cards for you, Patu. Hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. If you value the reading I'm doing here and you would like to support me, and then you please subscribe is the first recommendation I would make. You can also hype this channel. If you're already subscribed, you can hype up this video. The hype features for small channels like mine to help small channels like mine grow. Also, another way to support this channel is to join and become a member. As a member, you will have access to a library of members only videos that I have set aside for my members only, and you will get early access, sometimes up to a week early access, of the videos I post on this channel every Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay, on Wednesdays and Fridays I post for this channel for all of my viewers and subscribers, and as a member you will be getting early access to these videos, so you can enjoy them before everyone else does. Your comments will also receive priority responses from me. Thank you so much for watching. Take very good care of yourself, okay? And I'll catch up with you at the next one. Bye! Welcome to reading pile 3. So let's move your number over to the left. You ended up with the Unakite stone. Pretty. You ended up with Capricorn, Taurus, and Libra. Okay, let's do your vibe check. So, pile 3, I'm getting that you are secretly admired for your positivity and your luck. You seem to be able to manifest abundance into your life, and you're always bubbling forth with happiness. And I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Is it your positivity that brought your good luck and abundance, or is it the good luck and abundance that brought your happiness, your positivity? But you just have this kind of happy-go-lucky vibe about you, and God has been blessing you, and people secretly admire this about you, but maybe have not told you this. Okay, you're very enlightened, very intelligent. You have a great amount of understanding about the things in your life, the powers, the energies that work in your life and in the universe in general. You have a pretty good, decent understanding, definitely better than average. And people secretly admire this about you as well. Okay. I'm also getting pile 3 that you are secretly admired because of this. I feel like you're able to hype things up. You're able to increase the energy in a room. You have that ability anyway. And you, especially when it comes to like business ventures or like legal matters or something like this, I think you're very strong in that. You are secretly admired because you have the ability to overcome negative attachments, and you're very creative and full of energy, vitality. Okay, you may also be very attractive, pile 3, and people secretly admire you for this as well, okay? Not enough people tell you that actually, compared to the people who actually think it, okay? Let me see. You may be very strong when it comes to the money aspect, Pile 3. People can tell just based on the way you dress yourself, the way you live, that you have manifested a good amount of money for yourself in your lifetime. And, you know, currently you may have good health, and people really secretly admire this about you. You seem very healthy. You might be height, weight proportionate and have good money. You're just very balanced in general. You have a lot of harmony going on with your energy, your chakras, and you have a good amount of stability and abundance in your life, and people secretly admire this about you, okay? People also secretly admire the way you keep yourself safe, you know? It's like, I do feel like in some ways you're one with nature. People secretly admire the way you have responded to the dark times, and you respond to the dark times by radiating happiness and confidence anyway. When you've been dealing with negativity of others, or just of life in general, you seem to maintain your positivity and your good luck and your abundance anyway, okay? So I just feel like people in general think that you're very fortunate. You have a good fortune in your life, and they secretly admire this about you, okay? Let's take a look at your first tarot card. We're getting the Star card for you, Pile 3. I feel like people secretly admire your faith, okay? The maybe your religion, or what it is that you believe in. They secretly admire you for the things that you choose to put faith in. They secretly admire, again, like I'm getting a sense of beauty as well coming through. You also are good at healing yourself. You're good at keeping yourself healthy. You seem to always be ever renewed, right? You know, you don't seem to ever be like getting like worn down. You know, you seem to keep going and seem to always, you know, no matter what life has thrown at you, the next time they see you, it's like you're renewed, you're refreshed again. There's a freshness to your energy, Pile 3. There's a certain refreshness to your energy. You have an ability to renew yourself, perhaps through meditation, or through your spiritual or your spiritual practices specifically, okay? People secretly admire this. People secretly admire your ability to remain optimistic. They've sensed or noticed that you're never, you know, you may have your depressed moment here or there, but you seem to always bounce back. You seem to always come back to happy, joyful, bubbling forth, hyping yourself up, hyping others up. Is that twinkle in your eyes back? I'm getting child of the universe. Like you have faith in this whole big picture belief system that you're a child of the universe, and like all children of the universe, you're protected and you're being guided. And so you can trust that, you know, you have this like innate trust of the higher plan or something, or a bigger perspective. And people secretly admire this about you. Okay, let's take a look at your next tarot card. We're getting the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, things remain the same with you, Pile 3. I'm almost getting like, you know, when I get those ever renewing energies, like you're always looking young. You're always looking fresh. You're always looking like the way people remember you. Your situation is stable. You hold on to your money. You hold on to or specifically your resources, right? Whatever you were put in charge of or was given to you, the next time people see you, it is still yours. You don't lose your things, especially your material things or your material resources. I'm getting like land, property, maybe cars. And people will secretly admire this about you. Things seem to be quite stable with you. Okay? Could be your looks too. And your health too. Your health stays good. Let's keep it moving here and see what other energies are coming through. And we'll put it all together at the end. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, now we're getting like a money vibe. And I kind of got that earlier in the vibe check, that you are doing well when it comes to like money. You're doing well when it comes to money. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. This is how you're perceived anyway. You may have had some kind of offer that you were given in hand. Maybe you got some type of inheritance, or you have like a good job, or you have wealth. People think that you have wealth, Pile 3, that you're very abundant, and they secretly admire this about you. Okay. That you have prosperity in your life, and there's an opportunity you have in hand currently that's bringing you a wealth or abundance, or has the ability to bring you more wealth and abundance. Okay. People secretly admire you for the things you own. Okay, the things you own, like I said, it could be property, cars, I don't know what it is. There's something, or maybe your jewelry, the way, your clothes, what you have in hand. Yeah. Very interesting. All right, let's move on to your next card. We got the Five of Swords. Okay, so Pile 3. You have defeated your enemies. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, okay? You have defeated your enemies. People who try to come up against you, all right? People who showed you hostility. I feel like you showed them, right? You showed them. And I don't know, there's some type of conflict that people are aware of. And someone tried to bully you or bully yours. And you came through and you stood up for yourself. And there was a showdown. And you won that conflict, okay? I don't know about the war, but you definitely won that battle, okay? There's a battle that you won. And people secretly admire you for it. I feel like someone might have been showing you hostility. Or someone might have been conflicting with you. Yeah, I feel like there was hostility, Pile 3, shown to you. Someone tried to bully you or bully you or your family, or I don't know what it is, try to push you around or something. And you showed these people, okay? You stood your ground and you took away. It's almost like you were a host, and some people came to your house thinking that, they could just get away with talking trash to you in your own house. And you were like, oh, you thought you could do that to me or mine? And you took away their argument. You disarmed them and humiliated them. Okay. And so people secretly admire you for the way you treated someone who was being a bully, the way you dealt with someone who was trying to defeat you, the way you defeated someone who was trying to, who was playing, who was causing tension in your home or causing tension around you. Wow. Okay, let's keep it moving here. We have the Page of Pentacles. You have a big amount of, you have ambitions, Pile 3. You are very diligent. You may have gone to school and studied, and you were diligent with the opportunities that you were given, okay? And people secretly admire you for this. I feel like you may have been a good scholar, or gone to school and gotten your certificate or your degree or something, and you paid attention. You did what you were supposed to do. You were a good little boy or girl. And this is part of what has led to the success, the financial success that you're experiencing in your life, okay? You're secretly admired for this. You're also secretly admired for the fact that you're able to you took notes when there was some type of situation where someone was trying to talk crap to you or bringing tension or hostility towards you, and it's like you carefully took notes, you carefully noted what was happening, and this gave you a serious advantage in the situation. Perhaps you addressed this person via messages, or you took note of what was happening and shared the records with people, and this humiliated the other person, okay? They thought that they could just do whatever they like, and the whole time maybe you were videotaping their behavior in your home or something, and you were able to show this as evidence, and someone was humiliated by this, and people secretly admire you for the way you handle this. Just take the story as it resonates and leave the rest for others. We have the Knight of Cups. You may have someone in your life who's offering you romance, Pile 3. Someone who is very charming and who's very drawn to your beauty, coming at you with something. So you may be admired, secretly admired for that, if that is the case. Okay. I'm also getting, and if that's not the case, there's other messages coming through as well. I'm seeing pile 3 that I feel like you're very romantic or something. Pile 3, you pursue the things you love. You do. You pursue the things you love. You you are charming. You are very imaginative. You are very beautiful. I think you're attractive, pile 3. Someone secretly admires you for these things. They secretly admire you for being chivalrous and idealistic. Okay, you have certain ideals that you follow, that you live by. You're not jaded, pile 3. That's the vibe I'm getting. You're not jaded. Despite whatever you may have been through, you've not like lost touch with yourself and how you want life to be or how you wish life would be. You continue to strive for these things, okay? And I feel that you are secretly admired because of this. Let's get your oracle cards out and get more information. We have golden opportunity. Wow, pile 3. Yeah, I'm getting some resonance here with the Ace of Pentacles. And now we got golden opportunity. Yeah, there's some kind of big wish that came true for you. Some type of big wish came true for you. Pile 3, you've scored some type of like opportunity, lifetime opportunity, or the kind of opportunity other people dream about. Okay, you have access to money, or you may be rich or wealthy or something like this, and you're also a highly valuable person. Or you may have a highly valuable opportunity in hand, or you may own something that's very valuable. So people really secretly admire you for this. They secretly admire you for bringing great benefit to yourself or the success that you have in your life. And I get the feeling it's very linked with money, valuables. You know, people feel that you have upped your net worth, or your resources. You're rich in resources of some type. So you're secretly admired for this. Okay, people think that you have like a treasure trove of something going on. Next, we have warrior. Pile 3, you are secretly admired because you are able to hold on to how good you look. Okay, you're able to hold on to how good you look. You're able to hold on to your strategy. There's something you're holding in hand. I see this person strong arming the sword, but strong arming that pentacle. You know, there's something you hold on to very firmly, pile 3, and it keeps everything like in check for you. Okay, it could be your mental discipline, especially when it comes to your exercise regimen, or your mental discipline when it comes to saving money or holding on to your resources. Okay, you're not throwing away valuable things, you're holding on to them, pile 3, and you're secretly admired for this. You may be secretly admired also for the way you stand on business when it comes to the things you believe in. You're willing to fight for what you believe in, pile 3. Okay, you don't play. You're willing to duke it out, mentally speaking. Okay, you're willing to talk about it. You're not a coward, pile 3. You're a hero. Okay, and you're willing to save what you believe is worth saving. You stand up for your ideals. All right. You put your money where your mouth is another message I'm getting. We have the computers. You're secretly admired for that. I'm also getting that you may be really good with computers, pile 3. Okay, you may be really good with technology. You may work in the computer industry. You may be very intelligent, very technological, or you may be in engineering, and this has brought you a lot of money. I'm also getting that you may be really good with just using computers, and your ability to use computers very well has led you to either save money. Maybe you're really good at research. You can look things up. And where other people are like, well, I didn't know what to do, so I just did this, and they spent $500. You went online and did some research, and you figured out how to do something for free. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting like that. You understand very complicated things, and if it's not computers, it's like you're really good at something very complicated. Maybe it's the stock market, maybe it's algorithms, maybe it's math, science, technology, or just some subject that others off the street don't readily understand. They have to study, right? They have to go in and they have to mine that knowledge and hold on to it for themselves. All right. There are times that you're able to focus exclusively on doing this. It's about self-interest. You spend time in your life where you're like, I'm not interested in what's going on with other people. I'm interested in making sure that I understand this thing. I'm interested in making sure that I can procure this thing for myself. That has been your priority, and you're secretly admired for this. Okay, next we have self-care. Heal, repair, and reconnect. So, pile 3, you are secretly admired for your ability to heal yourself after others have attacked you, to put it bluntly, okay? You know how to... Remember I said there's this ever refreshing energy you've got going on, pile 3. It's like a reset with you. You know how to reset yourself. Okay, after someone has caused you problems, you don't let that define your life. Your life goes on to be smooth. Your life goes on to, you continue to focus your ambitions. You continue to live according to your ideals. You don't allow people's bullying tactics or their bullshit to sway you, right? Or skew your perspective. You hold steady, you hold clear, okay? You're also able to... Let's keep it moving here. I'll see what else comes through. We have tranquility. Yes, you're able to protect your peace, pile 3. You protect your peace. And the way you protect your peace is enviable. Okay, you're secretly admired for the way you protect your peace by reading books, studying, being serious about your life, pursuing your ambitions. You don't make this any conflicts from others your whole focus. You got other things to think about, like healing yourself, focusing on how to hold on to what's yours, tending to or nurturing opportunities you've been given, studying up more, knowing more. You know how to move on. You know how to create peace for yourself. You have peaceful environment around you too. That's what people are noticing these days. And this is something they secretly admire about you. Perhaps you like boating. Perhaps you like to go on a boat or go on vacations on the ocean or something. And people secretly admire this about you as well. All right, next we're seeing closure. Yeah, so pile 3, definitely I feel like some kind of conflict occurred in your life. I'm not sure what it is, and I think that it does involve other people. Yeah, it could be external, it could be possible it's internal. Well, people are seeing that you have resolved this conflict for yourself, honestly. Okay, for yourself. You moved on. Others may be moping. Others may be still hurting, still smarting, still, discontent about what happened and all this. But you have moved on, pile 3. Okay, it could be these people that secretly admire your ability to move on and not be stressing about them anymore, stressing about the hurt that they caused you, okay, or the conflict that they brought your way, or the disrespect that they showed you. You're happy now. You're happy-go-lucky. You moved on. I'm seeing the boat moving on. I'm seeing this person opening that door. They're out. They're gonna smile like, I'm good, honey. Letting go, ending that chapter. You're emotionally releasing them, and you're free of them, okay? I feel like there's some people, and you're secretly admired for this, by the way, but I feel like there are people who wanted to sort of hold on to you through conflict, okay? Because maybe they couldn't find any other way to get you to pay attention to them. And you have, successfully let them go by letting go of this conflict. And you're secretly admired for this. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to your next oracle card. We have quantum field, one of my favorite subjects. The subject of the quantum field, which we all have around us. I mean, I think the quantum field is related to the aura. I draw wealth from the quantum field where infinite possibilities converge to manifest my desires. But people feel that you're on a quest for gold. You're on the quest for gold. Now, when I say gold, I'm not just talking about like physical gold. I'm talking about, the philosopher's stone. I'm talking about the golden fleece. I'm talking about alchemical gold, like you don't just want money, pile 3. You don't just want wealth. You want the source of wealth within, that lies within everyone. You want that eternal, limitless source. And it's almost like you figured out how to tap into this. You have. And so no matter what your external circumstances look like, it feels like you keep being able to find and tap into the source of wealth. Okay, the true source of wealth. Not just get up, go get a job, or go get money, or go work for someone, or do whatever, but that internal source that helps you manifest wealth and put you in position to get more wealth out of life. Okay, you're really good at manifesting things of value for yourself out of the quantum field around you. Pile 3. This is how you are perceived, and you are deeply admired in a secret way for this. Or perhaps you're also admired for trying to seek this out, trying to create this connection for yourself. It's enviable. Okay, we have rebel. Yes. So pile 3, you stand up for your beliefs, like I said earlier. Okay, and this is in the face of others who don't agree with you, in the face of others who maybe they got like gatekeeping energy or something like this. Yeah, you're viewed as a rebel, pile 3. Okay, you rebel against what is not right. Okay, and you have and when I say what is not right, it's what is when I say what is not right, it's when it comes to what is destabilizing, what tries to take away the sustenance or the resources of others. You fight against this. Okay, and you are deeply respected for it. Okay, secretly. Perhaps you're not told this nearly enough as much as people think it. Okay, so let's get more information. We have museum. Okay, you may have works of art in your home that people envy. You may have a beautiful house or a well designed or decorated home where you have like like very nice things on the wall. You're secretly admired for this. You may be an artist, pile 3. You may have created some beautiful works of art or created something beautiful for others to see. You may have a very picturesque life or picturesque surroundings, and you're secretly admired because of this. You've created certain works of art, or you've created something. It could be artistic, it could be technological, it could be science-based. I don't know what it is, but you've created something that's really respected and loved by others. Okay, and you are secretly admired because of this. Okay, we have hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. Pile 3, you are secretly admired because you're able to help people heal from conflicts. Yeah, you're able to help others heal from conflict as well. You lend a hand, you assist when it comes to when people are having some sort of disagreement, or yeah, I'm just getting that kind of energy coming from you in this pile 3. There's some type of conflict that is featuring very strongly, and I'm also getting conflict resolution that's featuring very strongly in your pile as well. You're able to help resolve conflict between yourself and others, or between others, or also within yourself. Next we have Suna, warmth, heat, life, and energy. Pile 3, your energy is powerful. Your energy is strong. You got strong energy. Okay, you have a lot of vitality as well. Okay, you are not a pushover, and you are not going to allow anyone to disrupt your peace in any kind of meaningful way. You may take a time out for, every now and then to stand up for yourself, or fight other people, or disagree, or stand up for yourself, or something like this. But you're not going to let it feature strongly in your life. You're not. That's the victory you're not going to let them have. Okay, and people deeply admire you for this. You're secretly admired for this. Okay, next we have military person. Look at that. Got military person, we got warrior, we have rebel, 5 of swords. Pile 3, I feel like there's something you really care about, that you're gung-ho about. I stand strong on this. Okay, you may have a military career as well, or some type of situation where you fought for something, and people secretly admire you for your career. When it comes to, you could be like in the military or the police, or maybe even martial arts or something like this. People secretly admire you for this. They also secretly admire you because you're very distinguished. You've accomplished certain things that you have like a wall of accomplishments. Okay, you've won certain awards, or been won certain competitions, like your work specifically, or the things you have done have earned you a certain level of respectability in society. Okay, because I see all these like different, I think they're like flares or something. Yeah, these are like military awards, and decorations, which represents their service, like, and all their accomplishments and achievements or acts of heroism. Pile 3, you have a record when it comes to being someone who has accomplished things, being someone who has, gone off and did things that are very praiseworthy or very notable. You have done these things, Pile 3, okay? You could have maybe a distinguished history in maybe when you were in high school or when you were in college, you were an athletic swimmer and you won all these like awards from being athletic, okay? And you actually won contests and competitions. And so you really involved yourself in a certain type of activity that you got awarded for and rewarded for over time. And you're secretly admired for this, Pile 3. This could also have something to do with your career currently. You're just very distinguished. You've done a lot. You've been around and you are recognized for it, okay? You're secretly admired for it, even if people aren't saying it to your face. You're also very disciplined, Pile 3. You're very disciplined. And you've taken these accomplishments, you've taken all this gravitas, if you will, okay, of yours, and you use it to fight for good causes, okay, to protect and preserve human lives, or to protect and preserve property. You're not about, you don't want people's property being destroyed, you don't want people's lives being destroyed. You keep people safe, and you're willing to go up against people who don't believe in the same thing. You're willing to fight to protect others and to protect yourself, protect what's valuable to you, and you are secretly admired for this. And that's what I'm seeing in the cards for you, Pile 3. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. I would love to chat with you there. If you value what I do here and you would like to support me in return, then please hit the subscribe button. And if you're not already subscribed, and if you're already subscribed, then you can hype me down below. I would find that to be very valuable. An additional way to support me would be to join the membership of this channel, and you can subscribe, you can join. And what this will give you access to is a members only library of videos that I have for my members to watch and enjoy, for members only. Another benefit of this membership is that you gain early access to the videos that I put out for the public and for the viewers every Wednesday and Friday. And sometimes these videos are ready up to a week early in time. You can watch it early before anybody else does, and you can comment on the videos, and I will you'll get priority responses to your comments. Thank you so much for watching, okay? And take very good care of yourself. Bye. You're reading Pile 4. So, what do people secretly admire about you? You ended up with this Dalmatian Jasper. You ended up with Leo, Scorpio, I meant Virgo, and the Cancer sign. Okay, vibe check time. You're a perfect balance, Pile 4, of being a very good person and of knowing when to, but you're not naive about it, okay? You're not naive. If someone tries to put something over on you or push past your boundaries, or thinking that, oh, maybe Pile 4 is all airy light and goodness and sugar plums and all this, they're gonna find out real quick that you're not the one to be messed with, okay? Pile 4, you have a good mix of, you're filled with goodness, you project goodness, you're merciful, you're even innocent, you don't tend to start things, you don't tend to be the one to cause problems, you're very peaceful, you put great faith in situations, you may be the type to heal situations even, you may be a bit of a healer, but at the same time, you're not naive, you're aware that there's a dark side of life, where people's shadow can come at you, and you're prepared for it. And I feel like there have been a lot of times when people tested this goodness in you, thinking, oh, Pile 4 is so good, Pile 4 is so nice, let me just needle out, let me poke the bear, let me just do this and do that to Pile 4 real quick. I'm sure they'll do nothing about it, and they've been shocked that you are capable of protecting yourself, that you are capable of basically like being, having that evil eye energy where whatever they sent to you it's just going to bounce right off of you and come right back at them. So you're like a walking karma type of situation, Pile 4. And people secretly admire this about you. Okay, they admire that. It's like it's almost like they feel, and I almost feel like the reason they admire this about you is like they're like, wow, Pile 4 is slick. Pile 4 puts out this energy, like they're good. But if you mess with them, they'll show you their dark side. You see, because they're going around life trying to get away with stuff, right? But that's not the case. What they're thinking is not true about you, because you really are good. You really are nice. But you're not going to be bullied. You're not going to be pushed around. And when people F around with you, then they find out, right? Pile 4. Okay. So you are secretly admired because of this. I'm also getting, Pile 4, that you perfectly willing to... You ever see in those movies where they've had a falling out, or like there was a divorce, or someone just they stabbed someone in the back, they betrayed them, and then after they were gone, the person that was left behind took a pair of scissors, crying and everything, and just cut the picture out of their life, out of the image, and there was just like a gap there, where they cut the person out who betrayed them and hurt them. So Pile 4, people secretly admire you because of your ability to cut out haters, your ability to cut out bullshitters, your ability to cut out those who have wronged you. You're not overly sentimental, Pile 4. You're not the type to be like, oh, they hurt me, but I remember we grew up with them. That's my friend. That's my person. That's my blah, blah, blah. You will do the cold thing and cut them out if you have to. Okay. That's not a problem for you, Pile 4. And so in the way that you are, people learn what you're about, which is Pile 4 is amazing, but don't, for the love of God, hurt Pile 4 or attack Pile 4. If your shadow dare come out around Pile 4, it might not end well. Okay, like it might mean the end of a connection. Even though this is kind of extreme in a way, people still secretly admire it about you. Okay, I think though that you do apply it as needed. I don't think that you go overboard with it. But the fact that you have shown you can do it, the people who you've cut out, the people who you have like spanked when they messed with you, they secretly admire you for it. Okay, they realize that you are strong. You're not the one to push around. You're not the one whose boundaries should not be respected. All of this, so you're respected and admired. Okay, secretly because of this. All right, let's take a look at your tarot card. We're getting the Ten of Swords. So, Pile 4, let me see what this particular Ten of Swords is saying. It says, bam, pow. Oh my gosh, this is a major catastrophe here being pictured on this card. So, Pile 4, people secretly admire how you are perfectly willing to let things crash and burn. Okay? End things. Be final on things. They've seen you do it. And they admire you for it. Let's get some context here. Okay, I want more information. We have the Nine of Cups. Exactly. People have deeply and secretly admired the way you have let people around you crash and burn, or let certain situations come to an end. Or been fine with letting someone go and not giving a care about someone or something anymore. Just let it be destroyed. Let it fall apart. Who cares? Because it added to your peace of mind. Okay. People also secretly admire the way you make their wishes come true. You're like a wish, almost like a Make-A-Wish Foundation or something. You fulfilled many people's wishes. You're a great host. You're an excellent caretaker. People secretly admire how well you take care of people. how well you take care of the relationships in your life. People secretly admire how you make all of your dreams, your wishes come true. You seem to have gotten everything you want out of life, and you've gotten everything you want out of life because it's like you have this like bullshit detector, or you've got this like ability to determine what needs to be let go of and what you need to let continue. Okay, you have a really good picker, Power 4. People have secretly admired how it seems like you pick the right friends, you pick the right relationships, and you let the right ones burn. You let the right ones go that are horrible, that are not like, it's because of this ability to make excellent decisions. Which one do you let die off, and which one do you cherish, and which ones do you nurture, that you seem to be living a very good life. Okay, people secretly admire how you seem very satisfied and fulfilled in life. You seem very content. Like everything you need or want is what you get and what you have. People may secretly admire the fact that your family takes good care of you, or that I'm getting like maybe a kid who grew up in a rich family, who the kid gets everything they want, all their school things are paid for, and then some. They go on vacations, they get whatever gifts they want, they show up wearing a nice watch, whatever these they want, Nikes they have, whatever. People secretly admire you for, I almost feel like, here's what I'm getting. Some people think that people that maybe look like you shouldn't have the things you have. That's what I'm getting. And they secretly admire that you're like, I can look however I want, and I'm going to be getting everything I want. It's not dependent on my looks. And, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying you don't look good, Power 4. But I just get like that you don't really necessarily care about looking the hottest or the cutest, or you don't have to be. You don't have to be always hot. You don't have to be always the best looking one. You're just loved. You're just spoiled. You're just taken care of. Your wishes just get fulfilled. And people secretly admire this about you. They may not have told you this, but that's what they're thinking. People secretly admire how people who have betrayed you, they end up getting hurt real bad, man. They get messed up. Like I'll give you an example story here. Like, say, you're a young woman, or maybe you're just a person. I don't know. You don't have to be young. You can be middle-aged or older. But you have a boyfriend or something, or a girlfriend, and you all move in together to a nice apartment, and, everything seems hopeful and things seem nice. But then slowly over time, this boyfriend or girlfriend starts mistreating you, starts treating you like shit, and, all these weird things are happening. And then one day you're like, oh, you know what? I get it. You thought you could get me in here to do this life with you while you would treat me like shit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave, and you are gonna be stuck trying to figure out how to pay the rent. You're gonna be stuck wondering why all of our friends have turned on you. Like this person, it's like they're just gonna wake up one day, find out that you're gone, find out that none of y'all's collective friends are talking to them anymore, find out that everybody thinks poorly and horribly of them. They're going to find out that, maybe their boss found out about it and they lost their job. It's just calamities visit the people who work against you, Power 4. Okay? And people secretly admire this about you. We have the 4 of Pentacles. People secretly admire that you keep track of, let me see here. Yeah, that you keep track of your expenditures. You keep track of how you're spending. You hold on to your money. You know how to save your money, hold on to your money. You're not about wastefulness. Like, you're the type that you have a journal. Like, you go out, oh, okay, yeah, so you just ate out with your friends or whatever, and say you covered the meal and it was $85 or whatever. You write in your little wallet once you see the charge, $85, and they tell you, all that. So that if there's any discrepancy later on when you're looking through the list, you'll find it. You'll know. If you go home that day and from that restaurant you got charged $120, you're going to be calling them up and being like, I'm sorry, but this charge was $85. How come I got charged $120? Like, nothing slips by you, Power 4. Okay, you're secretly admired for the way you are you kind of control very well your finances or the energetic exchanges in your life very well. You know, people don't get one over on you very easily. So people secretly admire this about you. We have the Five of Wands. Got some drama going on a little bit. Pile 4. So people secretly admire you, Pile 4, for the way you are not a pushover. You're not a pushover. Okay, I feel like you have to deal with competitors or people who have tried to work against what it is that you're trying to accomplish. They butt heads with you. They try to challenge you, all this, but you're not giving in. Okay, you're giving them a run for their money. You are like, I'm going to contest this. Okay, you're not someone they can just wave aside and walk. No, they have something to contend with in you. And it's very interesting that they're admiring this. But I feel like there are people here who are trying to test your mettle on purpose or something. They want to see how you handle certain challenges, or if you are a pushover. So that's why I'm getting like a competitive vibe, like people who are competing just for the sake of competing. Maybe they're trying to define who they are. They're trying to prove who they are to themselves by competing against you. Okay? They're trying to show that they can do something better than you. Maybe because of how good your life is. Because of how you seem to have a lot of your wishes fulfilled. And you seem very content in life. And because they've seen that you hold on to your money. You know, people cannot take things away from you very easily. I feel like people secretly admire you. Because, you know, the Five of Wands, Pile 4, the nickname for the Five of Wands is the quest for gold. I don't want to say you're a hustler, but I do want to. I think what it is, yeah, it could be that. It could be that you're secretly admired because you hustle, you get in there, you're scrappy. Okay, no one's gonna walk all over you. No way, you know. And so, you know, there may be people around you who are rooting for you, who think this is a great thing in you because they understand that it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And you need to have those skills, know how to look out for yourself and stand up for yourself. And so from that perspective, they secretly admire it and don't say anything. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. We have the Page of Wands. So we're getting the Page of Wands, Pile 4. People secretly admire you because you are so pretty or handsome or good looking. You're very, what's the word? You're very tasty. You're very tasty looking. You're also very free-spirited. You are passionate either about like an idea or something. You're very enthusiastic about life. You're enthusiastic about whatever it is you're passionate about. If you have a hobby, then you're very passionate about it and you're willing to work hard at it. You're willing to hustle for it, and you're secretly admired for this. Okay, next we're getting the Eight of Swords. So, Pile 4, you make some people feel very hella insecure. You make people feel like, I don't know, I think you're kind of intimidating, Pile 4. Okay, you're intimidating. Your looks are intimidating. Your finances are intimidating. Your ability to manifest ideal situations for yourself and get exactly what it is that you want out of life is intimidating. And people secretly admire this about you. People secretly admire, let me see, we got the Eight of Swords. People secretly admire your ability to free yourself from limiting circumstances. So remember that scenario I gave you about moving in with someone and then they acted out and you released yourself from that situation? You know, even scandalous situations, you have the ability to free yourself from situations that others might feel limited at doing. Okay, an example could be maybe some bad rumors start being spread about you or something, and you somehow are able to get out of this. You somehow, you know, a lot of times when bad rumors are being spread about you, people are like, oh my gosh, you're finished. People are going to have this reputation, they're going to spread rumors, and this reputation is going to stick with you, and that's that. You know, that's not the case for you, Pile 4. You have a way of extricating yourself from really tough situations. I'm getting like MacGyver. Like you can kind of like look around you. You're very creative in how you get yourself out of limiting situations. I also feel like anyone who tries to, yeah, you make people feel insecure. Yeah, you definitely make people feel insecure, Pile 4. Wow. I think it's your looks. You may have these, you're always looking young, always looking pretty, always looking handsome. You work hard for your body and your looks. You are able to keep things to yourself, especially material things. You don't lose out. You know, you're a survivor. You are attractive. You are content. You are capable of fulfilling your own wishes. Wow. Power 4, you know, you're enviable. That's what it is. You have this enviable aura, enviable riz, okay? And this is what they secretly admire about you. Let's move into your first oracle card. We have instant family. Dating someone with children to build an immediate family with, or ready-made family structure. Interesting. So, Power 4, people secretly admire. So, Power 4, I think that people don't expect you to. I think people that want a family or want a husband and kids and all that, if you have that, people secretly admire you for it. They admire the fact that you have a beautiful family, a happy family, a mate who loves you, beautiful children, or perhaps you're planning on having children with the mate that you have, that you're on your way to having this. And I think it's people in particular who maybe don't have this, that admire this in you, secretly admire this, or people who have this but they're not happy, but they see that you're happy. I don't know what it is, but that's coming up. Okay, Power 4. Next we have bedroom. Yeah, they admire your home life is secretly admired, Power 4. Yeah, the way you decorate your home, the way your house looks, it's just very idyllic. You have a very idyllic looking life, Power 4. Yeah, so I feel like, you know, you're secretly admired because of your conditions in your home. How nice, how pleasant it is, how inviting, you know, how like, you know, you just have very nice accommodations, Power 4. You're secretly admired for this, okay? Next we have the elf. Like I feel like someone's walked into your apartment or walked into your house or your condo or whatever, you know, and just been like, ooh, man. Or even if you like you have a roommate, like someone's walked into your bedroom and being like, man, Power 4's side of the house is okay, hot, swank, okay, posh, bougie, that kind of thing. So Power 4, you're secretly admired for the way you keep yourself trim. I'm not gonna lie, okay? You know, it's funny. I try to avoid going with, oh, you're slim, you know. But I do feel like a large amount of you in this group, Power 4, are slim. And if you're not slim, you maintain your size or your weight, okay? It's like you are cutthroat about it. Like you do not. It's like if you say, for instance, if you got your needle mark on that scale is 150, there is a number you have chosen. It could be 125, it could be 150, it could be 170, or it could be a size that you've chosen. And you're like, come hell or high water, I will never go past that. I never want to be higher than that number. Okay, so you're secretly admired for the fact that you maintain a certain size in a certain shape. It's like do or die for you. Okay, it's do or die. You will not let yourself go outside of that size. If you notice that you're starting to kind of, you know, approach that boundary line, you'll be dieting, you'll be writing everything down. I had 5 calories just now. I had 10 calories just now. Okay, good. I'm not going to exceed that, you know, 1,500 calories for the day. I'm not. All right, next day. You know, you get brutal with it, Power 4. Brutal. Okay? You're very strict when it comes to your diet or even your finances, and you're secretly admired for this. There are people who won't say it to you, but it's true. They really do secretly admire you for this. We have number 27, treasure. Protect your energy and space. Or at least they think that you do anyway, right? They think that you're like this. Because how else do you stay in a certain size, right? For some people, I do think it's kind of effortless to stay a certain size. I do think that. It just depends on your genetics, right? But anyways, but that is the perception anyway. And you are secretly admired because of it. Next, we got number 27, treasure. Protect your energy and space. Power 4. Remember I told you, you are not a pushover. And you do not allow people to come around, bully you, shove you around. You know, you're not going to let it happen. Okay? And you are admired for this. Okay? You've held your own in some type of conflict, some type of battle. You've held your own when it comes to maybe struggling for something, struggling to accomplish something in your life. You're not going to allow anyone to get in the way of this thing you're trying to accomplish. You're not going to allow anything to dismantle your grind, okay? I'm seeing you being locked in your room or locked in your office. The door's locked. Nobody can just come in whenever they like. Like, hey, I want to talk to you, Power 4. No. They got to maybe schedule an appointment or wait till a certain time to talk to you because you're very, very serious about this thing that you're working very hard on, okay? It could be your health. It could be your finances. Next, we're getting second sight. So, Power 4, you may be a psychic or something. You may be able to see what's happening underneath the lid, you know, with other people. You may be very good at seeing through people's illusions, disguises, you know, guises, pretenses, you know, or delusions even, okay? And someone admires this. It could be that your hobby is being a psychic. It could be that your hobby is being able to do detective work and figure out what is actually going on in a certain situation other than what is being presented on the surface. Kind of like remote viewing. Someone deeply admires you for this, secretly admires you for this trait or this activity or this skill. Okay, you're very enthusiastic about it. You may watch like mystery shows or detective shows, or you may be able to solve like cold cases, or, you know, if you're dealing with people in your circle or whatever, and they're presenting a certain story, you're able to be like, I think that what's actually going on is this. And you're like right half the time. Okay. You're like right most of the time. Or maybe all of the time, I don't know. But I feel like someone has noticed that you're really good about this, really able to do, really good at seeing through the bullshit, and you are secretly admired because of it. Okay, we have me versus me. Yeah, Power 4. People have figured out that you're not competing with anybody. Okay, you're not competing with anybody but yourself. You're trying to be better than you were yesterday. It's not a competition with others in your mind. Okay, like for instance, if you're watching your size or watching your shape or your figure or whatever, it's not because you're trying to look better than Pete or look better than Tasha. All right, it's because you're trying to, it's a challenge you set up for yourself that you will not allow yourself to go beyond a certain point. It's like self-restraint too is what I'm getting. People really admire your self-restraint, your ability to keep yourself in check. Your ability to make it about you, make it about improving you, okay? Make it about you being your only competition, and, you know, maybe even having a chart like yesterday, or having some sort of log that you maybe put on your wall. Yesterday I did this many, let me see if I can beat that tomorrow. You know, like, you have these things you're working on, and nowhere on that list is you trying to compete or compare yourself with anyone else. It's just about you and you doing better than you did the day before, or the month before, or the year before. So you're secretly admired for this. Next, we're getting spiritual guidance. I tune to the frequency of my higher self and spiritual guides, receiving truth and charity from beyond the physical world. Power 4, you're secretly admired because, you know, your sense of motivation and your sense of guidance is generally not external. You're not looking to externals to guide you. You're not looking to externals to set guidelines for how you should be, or what are your limits, or what you should be going for. You look within. Okay, you look within. And you, like for instance, you know, some people are like, I want to be a millionaire to be happy. For you, that might be, I want to have beautiful, happy, loving relationships in my life. Okay, because you understand at the end of the day, you know, money can't make you happy like a beautiful, loving family can. Okay, maybe you're not saying you don't want money. Okay, you're just saying that, you know, someone deeply admires you for your family values. Someone deeply admires you for the fact that you are not about haters and drama with people who are looking to stab you in the back and try to keep them around you and all that. You get rid of negative energy and negative people, and you focus on nurturing beautiful, healthy, harmonious relationships only. That's it. You don't keep frenemies around. You don't keep none of that around. You're not about the drama. You're about love, harmony, your family values, the things you value that you want to see manifest in your life. That's all you care about. Okay, and you're deeply admired for this. Okay, you don't stray, and you don't get it confused. We have the world. Power 4, you're secretly admired because you're an accomplisher. It's like you literally accomplished what you wanted it in life. That's what people think of you. Okay, or that's what the person you have in mind is thinking of you. That you have accomplished what it is that you want. You want a happy home life. You want a happy relationships. You want a beautiful home, and you want to be, treated well. Okay, you want to be treated well. You want to be, you want to have good. You want to be taken care of too. I feel like some of y'all, you may have like a loving, doting partner who makes sure that all your needs are met or something, or you may have all your wishes may have come true, and maybe you have housekeeping, or you have. Maybe there's people at your work whenever you say you want this or you want that, you get it. How high, you say you ask for someone to jump, they ask how high. You're just, people want to please you. People want to give you what you want. You're just things. You're being served well, Power 4. You're secretly admired because you're getting a lot of your wishes come true. Whether it's a home, whether it's good relationships, whether it's accomplishments, whether it's travel. Perhaps you travel to different parts of the world, and you've gotten to go to the places. You know how you ask people, what would you like to see? What's your bucket list? Which places would you like to visit in the world before you leave this earth? You've already seen all these places, Pop 4. You've already visited all these places, or you at least already visited all the places that this person would like to visit. You've already been there, as an example. Maybe it's not specifically that. It could be other things. Maybe there's things that you've accomplished already. You checked off a list. I've got this, I've got this, I've done that, I've done this. A lot of them. And so you're secretly admired for the fact that you accomplished a lot of what you set out to do. We have airport. Okay. Yeah, traveling for sure. So I'm just going to address those of you who are watching who have traveled, been to places you want to be, gone on vacation to the places you want to go see. You've already been there, okay? You are secretly admired for this. You're secretly admired for having a jet-setting lifestyle, maybe. Perhaps you're always traveling. You're always going places. You go to Miami. You go to Zurich. You go to Milan. Going to Lagos. You're going to Jamaica. You're going to Scotland. I don't know where else, okay? You are a traveler, okay? And you get to, if you need to go somewhere, you can just easily get those tickets and just go. And you're secretly admired for this. Your ability to move, your ability to be mobile, your ability to fly and go wherever you like in the world. Almost at a moment's notice. So, in order to do this, you have to have been saving money. In order to do this, you have to have acquired finances. You have to have acquired some type of, wealth in your life, or some type of resources in your life. And you're secretly admired for this, okay? Next, we're getting wealth. See, yeah, you have money, Power 4. Or you're perceived as being very wealthy. You're perceived as having money. You're perceived as having enough money to do whatever it is you would like to do anyway. Okay? Enough money to create a safe space for yourself. Perhaps you have your own house, your own condo, your own place that you don't have to live with people you don't like. You don't have to. Okay? You may live alone. You may live with the family that you love. People that you love. You don't have to live with people who are haters. You don't have to live with frenemies. You're free. Okay? You have the freedom that wealth affords you. And you are secretly admired for this. You are secretly admired, Power 4, because it feels like money is just flowing in your life. You're a jet setter. You're the queen bee or the king. You get to go wherever in the world you would like to go. You receive guidance from within about how you should handle your affairs. You seem to have a good inner knowing about how you should be moving in this world. And it's been guiding you and leading you towards ever increasing measures of wealth and stability. And you are secretly admired for this. We have Urus, strength, power, endurance, personal responsibility. That is an Elder Futark rune. Urus. Yeah, you're powerful. And I said that already. You're very powerful. Maybe I didn't. But you are considered powerful, pal. For when it comes to the ability to see ahead, forecast things, see ahead, the ability to endure and bring about certain conditions for yourself. You have the ability to see where is the gold, where's the money at, and you move in that direction and you go get it. Okay, you're also very, very responsible when it comes, once you figure out where you're supposed to be channeling your energies, whether it's a hobby that will eventually bring you money, or whether it's a calling that you have, that you just know your intuition is telling you go that way, it'll bring you prosperity and stability. You have that inner knowing of what direction to be putting yourself to, so that you can accomplish these things. And you also have the sense of personal responsibility to keep yourself focused and to keep working at it, pal 4. Okay, you are secretly admired for this. Next, we are getting great fortune. Yeah, you're blessed, pal 4. You're blessed. You're blessed in a way that others can see. Others can see that things are going generally well for you. That you are like a diva, or like a, big boss man or something. You have it together, pal 4. You really do. You are content. Your wishes are fulfilled. Whatever it is you want, you get. You're very happy. Your dreams have come true in some type of major way and minor ways, in many ways. You are living in your purpose. Whatever it is your calling was, you're living it with that calling, doing exactly what you were put on this planet to do, and turning it into a good source of income for yourself. You are very fruitful in what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And you have a lot of good luck, okay? Things are positively aspected. Things are positively aspected for you, okay, in your life. You just have good luck and good fortune, right? Prayers, blessings, and a protection upon you, right? It's locked in. You have it locked in. May you continue to be blessed, pal 4. And, and I recommend that you do sealing rituals and protection rituals too, pal 4, because you have it in the bag. You have a lot of good things going on in your life, and so make sure you're wearing that you pray every day, that you get yourself spiritual, ask for protection, and wear like spiritual protections that you believe in, and engage in those practices, because sometimes people get jealous, and that's not, you don't want that energy, and they may not mean to do it either. There are people who don't mean to send you evil eye energy, but because of the lack that they experience in their lives, they may look onto you and send like some type of insecure or like self-doubting energy when they look at you, and that can send some kind of type of weird vibe towards you. So you want to have some type of spiritual protections in place. I'll include a link for the so I use certain sprays, and I do certain like banishing rituals. I pray every day. I meditate. I connect with source, and I visualize whatever it is I want from there. I do cord cutting rituals, you name it. Okay. And I'll put a link in here for this. One of my favorites that I use is Archangel Gabriel Palo Santo smudge spray for clearing and protection. Really good for psychics, because we're kind of wide open. We're receiving all kinds of signals, good and bad, and it clears you out and protects you. It just depends on your beliefs, pal 4. You don't have to do what I'm saying. That's just what works for me. Whatever I feel called to. Sometimes I pray the rosary. Sometimes I pray, I do all kinds of protective rituals that connect me with source, or I do deep meditations, 1 hour long, 2 hour long meditations. I do Joe Dispenza meditations. When you involve yourselves in spiritual activities, this tends to dispel like negative energy from others, okay, and puts you in tune with, like, you get downloads and put you in tune with the universal flow of helpful, beneficial information and downloads. So you're always informed on how best to move, how best to comport yourself in order to protect your energy and protect yourself. Okay, so I will put down links for the Joe Dispenza meditations and the Palo Santo spray that I just showed you in the description box, and you can click it and order it, and that will help my channel too, because I get a commission off of that. Anyways, you're very blessed, Pal 4, and this is why you are deeply and secretly admired. People don't tell you this, but I almost feel like they may compare themselves to you. They may be competing with you, and they compare themselves to you and feel like you are really, really blessed. Okay, they may be competing with you, and whenever they try to get like information from you or try to figure out how it is that you're doing it, it seems like you're very hard for them to penetrate. Pile 4. Okay, the way you make money, the way you flow, how you do it, it's in lockdown mode. You protect your energy, you protect your space, and they admire you for this. Okay, you're also admired for your ability to protect yourself. So you're doing a good job there. But if you need more information, I have it down in the description box to help you out. And that's what I'm seeing the card to you, Pile 4. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you and to chat with you. If you have found this reading to be valuable and you would like to support my work, then you can start by subscribing to this channel if you have not already. If you have already subscribed, then I would love it if you hype this video. That will promote this video and help others see it and help my small channel grow. If you, in addition, another way to support this channel is to join and become a member of the Magical Mermaids Tarot channel and become an ocean siren. All right, that's the name of the members of this channel. We're called ocean sirens here, and what this gets you when you join is you get access to a library of members only videos that I have been setting aside for my members only. And you also get early access to the videos that I post here on Wednesdays and Fridays. Sometimes those videos are ready a full week ahead, so you can watch it early and also comment on those videos early, and you always get priority responses from me. And that's that. Okay, thank you everyone for watching this video. Thank you for bringing your energy to the spread. Take very good care of yourself, okay? And I'll catch up with you at the next one. Bye.